kill on the Fatfish. And GeForce has a lot of ultimates online. Both teams, we're going to be seeing a very messy. Grab comes out right after that Tranquility, but I don't think there's enough damage up there to be able to kill anything. As DK finds a few openings to kill into the Sombra and Fatfish onto Ultima. And Hammond's just back here forcing point. The Tracer is here now to help, but we'll be taking out Hammond main. And Magic Mateball gets back just in time to force his rally. But both rallies are going to be coming out, so it's a pretty even playing field right now. But DK just has more numbers simply than GeForce, with Fatfish with another kill onto Anyhow. But it's just Magic Mateball and Strider there to contest. They do get 99, but so is DK. They're both on 99. Strider has to stall this point for a hot minute. He does go down. Does GeForce have a touch here? Diva's here, but it might... Ooh, Ultima comes in, gets instantly bashed, uses Pulse Bomb, doesn't find anybody with it. It's kind of on Diva here to find that touch. And Diva does get the touch as Hammond main uses Mines Down main. Rally came out, but by that time, DK had already won the map. Force him out of there. And it looks like they're going to be walking here with Rally, trying to go in. But a big EMP from Pummy onto 5 members of DK Fan Club. Not going to be using ultimates here, but Magic Mateball props Rally to keep the fight going here. But 2 kills going to the way of DK. 3 kills. Fatfish on the Magic Mateball. No more Rally for them. And they still have Mines and Flux here to work with. And DK is going to be getting the point control back. 72. And point does flip to DK. Fatfish popping Visor up on the high ground. Still anyone's game as long as the point stays alive. EMP comes out with a kill onto Ihishi. And it looks like GeForce is going to take point control back, but Transcendence is going to come out with a big pulse from Ultima onto Zhaofeng. Transcendence just to try and keep people up from the side of DK, but Rally comes out and it's going to be going to GeForce this time. I feel like this is so much closer.
This is
so much closer than last week.
Much closer.
Rally coming out from Magic Mateball, and that is going to proc Ihishi to use his Flux with the Pulse Bomb coming down onto Anyhow. Just slammed him right down onto it. A lot of mines will be cleared there by Anyhow's Pulse Bomb comes out from Ultima, not going to find anybody. It does go to overtime here. DK with a substantial lead over them. GeForce is going to have to get a really clean fight here and not use too many ultimates, but Trance and a Pulse Bomb do come out, as well as Fatfish using his dragons. Does find a kill on the Magic Mateball, and then another kill on the Pummy. Back to back. Crackspoon. Yeah. Tracer. Zenyatta. Whatever the word. Zenyatta. But Fatfish finds Ultima, and DK just pushing it in. Big EMP comes out, finds all 5 of the remaining members on point from DK, but Hammond main still looking for a Mega back there, I'm assuming. Ihishi comes out with the Flux, and then a Diva Bomb from Anyhow finds a kill onto Zuzao. And Hammond main on point, but it looks like GeForce is going to take point control back here. Essentially where they can see a lot of GeForce's team. It's kind of over for GeForce. EMP coming out from the side of Pummy, didn't see that one coming. Ultima finds a kill on the Angry Howl, then a Ihishi. Strider's onto Zhaofeng and Pummy onto... The Ultima able to kill Ihishi. It's just Ultima and Diva here left on point. Or Crackspoon and Diva, sorry. And Ihishi. I'm getting everyone mixed up. I'm colorblind today. And GeForce does take first point with a pretty... They don't gotta push it too far now.
They do not.
We will be seeing... I can call it ball comp both sides. Boom.
Wow.
Matt, give me a raise.
Bop.
It looks like you're gonna be trying to find just anyone that Crackspoon might be able to kill. He's not gonna be able to kill anybody. Striders did find Ihishi a little while ago as Hammond main gets anti. That's probably why they wanted the Ana. Now Zarya is nanoed. We'll be doing a lot of damage as Anyhow just walks into the backline. Only ball here, but it's not going to be enough. And GeForce very quickly and very decisively. Oh, it wasn't a Zenyatta play of the game. I was baited by Pummy. Here comes a big EMP. I got baited. Matt, give me another raised ball call. Ready?
Hi, how are you?
Hello, hello, 1 2 1 2.
Swung on and dashed out. Anyhow, we'll be trying to prevent DK from getting that full cap as Rally comes out from Zhu Zhao Feng.
And then do we have
Transcendence from and a big flux from Heishi, but he is not going to get anybody with it.
The first map is Lijiang Tower.
No, I mean,
to play
like,
the
we have a
full.
Cow with their Transcendence. Hammond Main with the kill on the Crackspoon taking out any cow, and then Angry Cow onto Magic 8-Ball.
Yeah.
Zhu Zhao Feng now onto Anyhow. Hasn't moved too far for DK. Anyhow does find a bomb with a boop from Striders. It is going to take out Fatfish, I believe. Heishi will be using Flux. Don't think it found anybody. Striders with the mines on the backline does take out both of the supports of DK as Hammond Main instantly loses his whole health bar. EMP does come out. I don't think it found anybody because everyone was already dead. Is the only reason. I don't think it hacked anyone. And G-Force able to stall out that hole. Anyhow, and Strider are getting very low. Striders is going to be taken out by Fatfish with a kill, followed up by Crackspoon on the Magic 8-Ball, then Fatfish on the Pummy, and on the Hammond Main. All very close back-to-back kills. While simultaneously, the backline of G-Force walks in. It will be going for something on the high ground, but it is going to make Angry Cow use his Transcendence. Fatfish will be popping dragons as Pulse Bomb comes out from Ultima onto Zhu Zhao, and no one has fallen from the side of G-Force here. Like I said, G-Force got DK off of the high ground. And slam from Hammond Main with the follow-up, but it's not going to be enough. Anyhow finds the kill on the Hammond Main. EMP comes out from the side of DK just to hack Heishi, make sure he's out of the fight. Ultima with a kill on the Angry Cow, and Fatfish trades back onto Ultima, but Diva Bomb goes to come out from Anyhow. Does take out Fatfish with his Diva Glock. And it looks like that is GG's for G-Force. Anybody from high? As now Hades Bob comes out, forcing Angry Cow's tranquility, or transcendence, but he...
What is going on, all you tanks, healers, and damage dealers, and welcome to the Latency Season 1 May Community Invitational. I am Septilence, joined by Jag, and we are going to have, Jag, if I'm not mistaken, 3 games today?
Yeah, absolutely. It is going to be 3 games on the docket, and, you know, it's going to be 1 game from the quarterfinals, 2 games from the semifinals, and then when we are done with the day, we only have 1 team left from each semifinal in that grand final tomorrow. $250 on the line. It's going to be a great day of action. I'm not going to call it Overwatch. I'm going to call it Overwatch Classic. Still 6v6. So still a lot of potential for a lot of different people to show what they got. And our first matchup, you know, 2 teams we don't know very
A lot of things can definitely be done here. And these are teams that, full disclosure, I don't know a lot about. There's going to be 1 player of the 12, like you mentioned, we are familiar, but one of them is just a friend of mine outside of the competitive world, outside of the competitive matchup. I know somebody coming into this series. I'm really excited to see what is going to be brought out by my boy Schmo in particular. We can talk about that a little bit more when we get to it. Overwatch Classic, Jag, and truly we are living up to that title. We're living up to that potential because we're starting on everybody's favorite map, everybody's favorite control map, the one that it seems every Overwatch tournament loves to start on. It will be Lijiang Tower.
Yes, it will be. And with that, that also offers so many different possibilities of what we could see. I mean, every point has a different kind of play style. So I think that's going to be really exciting to see what we see different teams decide to do. I think we're going to see a lot of Wrecking Ball, honestly. I feel like Wrecking Ball is still kind of the go-to pick. Wrecking Ball Sigma, Wrecking Ball Diva, those tank compositions where it's a bit more chaotic, a little bit more fast-paced. Kind of been what has been left behind. We do see some teams still run Rush and Dive sometimes, but generally a lot of Wrecking Ball. Wrecking Ball's not that great on Lijiang Tower, I would say, especially when you look at points like Control Center. That's always been kind of a brawl haven, a lot of Reinhardt. But I feel like maps like Night Market, as well as Gardens, there could be a lot of chaos comp potential there.
Yeah, without a doubt. I think Wrecking Ball is a very unique character in, honestly, a lot of ways because it depends on your personal play style and the map itself, like you mentioned. Can Wrecking Ball work on all 3 of these stages? Yes. Should you be playing Wrecking Ball on all 3 of these stages? Probably not. Now, that's not to be said it can't be done. I have seen a wrecking ball on all three of these stages. That's something that is in the book, so to speak. But I completely agree with you. I think there's definitely better team comps on a couple of these. But the same way, Symmetra can be played here, but isn't absolutely mandatory. I think Wrecking Ball kind of falls under that same category. Is a character that can be played and isn't a throw pick, but at the same time isn't mandatory for your team to succeed either.
Yeah, Symmetra. I mean, I feel like we see her all the time. It's only on control for like 5 seconds. Like, all right, teleport out of spawn, and
Right.
you're done. Unless it's like maybe night market. But we're gonna find out what these teams are bringing to the table in just a moment as we get into game. Before you were saying that you know someone on one of the teams. I actually know someone too. I know Snow Day. I actually used to play with them back in the day in Elo Hell. TBT to that. But yeah, they've come a long way from Get Good. The Ducks, they're kind of I would say they're a university team, but not officially representing their university in this tournament. They're from University of Oregon, so we'll see what they can do. They can represent collegiate and make it proud.
Can they make it proud here, Jag? And this is not G-Force and Bear Claw. We're going to get that figured out for you guys in just a couple of minutes. We are currently looking at Swarm and the Ducks. This is going to be a fascinating matchup. And Jag, straight away, it's both of our dreams being answered here, both of our hypotheticals, and they're coming out of the same team. We've got Eliakim and Smo bringing out that ball and Symmetra, respectively. But the question you've already brought up, is the Symmetra going to stick around, or is she just to get out of spawn early?
I think just to get this one, actually, I think, oh, I'm a bit surprised. So they use the teleport actually not to go through the window,
Not the
actually to get
window.
over the bridge, probably look for some boops, but no boops to be found. It's a dive comp on the other side, so those tanks, they're going to be very mobile. In fact, basically everyone for the Ducks is going to be very mobile.
Yeah, this dive comp about to be very scary here, especially if they can take down the Brig or the Zen. It's going to be Maz, who is the first to go down. 5v6 in favor of the Ducks. Brazel and Smo picking up a little bit of Elim, but can they find just a little bit more they need to save the day when things are looking bleak here in that first fight? Brazel gone down, no supports available for the Swarm, and the Swarm unfortunately will drop like flies here. That's going to be the Ducks with that first point cap.
Yeah, and I'm really confused about that teleport. I really like the idea of, going for those kind of Lucio Reddit plays when you just teleport right through the window and then you try to go for those big boops, but they don't have a Lucio. They have a Brigitte instead. So the Wrecking Ball is kind of all of your pressure about trying to go for those environmental eliminations, and they just meet them at the bridge. And once they meet them at the bridge, they don't really know what to do. The Ducks, it's dive tanks, but it's a shadow dive comp where it's actually played more like Brawl. You want to all stick together like Brawl usually works. And then, you just put in a lot of pressure with that Winston Tesla cannon, but mostly also the Reaper Hellfire shotguns.
Flatline just mere percentages away from being able to drop the beat, but it does not matter as Snow Day makes sure that both these supports are going to have a bad day. Immediately taken off the side of the map. Smo taking out Flatline early, takes the beat offline, but losing 2 supports versus 1 is obviously not going to work out well for your team. Kim now going to be falling the Wrecking Ball down. Chronicler on the Diva going to be taken out by the Moira. I'm so done, is certainly done with this tank line, at least for the time being. Ducks looking good already, halfway done with this first stage.
Yeah, they get the remake too, so they only use the Palmaris. They have 5 other ultimates going into this engagement, and really, realistically, they only have to use 2 to win this one out, and they save it for the last fight. They could take this map very cleanly, but Brazel does have that Zenyatta Transcendence online, and there's an EMP that comes out. This it does seem like there is a sound barrier, though, to counter it.
The sound barrier perfectly accidentally cancels Smo's pulse bomb. That is just a timing diff if I have ever seen one. But unfortunately, that pulse bomb not going to be working out quite like they wanted. Putter stuck in the back corner here. That Coalescence trying to keep them up and running. A defense matrix finding them cornered even where they know the DM is down, but it was not down long enough. It eats a majority of that Death Blossom, and Putter is not going to be find much of anything. It's going to be the Ducks' 2 ultimates now used, and neither of them really picking up as much value as they may have wanted. But as they take closer and closer, the ultimates buying even a single second this close to the end can make them worth it. Oh, and speaking of worth it,
it's huge. It's huge. It might just wrap things up right here. They have a Wrecking Ball still left alive, but you got to touch. You cannot take this fight. As time ticks down, the Tracer does make it back, but Smo can't do much of anything against the entire team.
the 3MP comes in hot there. The Zen didn't even get the chance to blink before he was taken offline, and that elimination right there sealed the deal for the Ducks to win Lijiang Gardens Stage 1, 100-0 here, Jag. We're going to need, some pretty aggressive changes from the Swarm. Do you think there's anything in particular that we're looking at? You're thinking, hey, if they change this, things might get a lot easier.
I think they really want to stick to punks on this Sombra. They really have to find better hack targets. I feel like you usually want to go for probably Drowsy on the Diva. Getting rid of that defensive matrix means they can't absorb nearly as much damage. But mostly if they wanted to continue running that Chaos comp, I wanted to see them separate the side of the Swarm more. It doesn't seem like, or the side of the Ducks more, excuse me. I don't think that's going to be really an issue now because both teams are going to go for more of that traditional Brawl comp, what we mentioned. I'm just very intrigued about the DPS lineup. Doomfist has gotten some play here. We've also seen Junkrat. It's actually Nightmark and not Control Center, so I'm a bit surprised to see Brawl. But both teams will have that Symmetra to teleport in, so it's really about who gets control of the point first.
That's exactly what I'm thinking here. I think the Brawl is a confident choice. Which one of these teams is going to be able to get a little more aggressive? Which Ryan can hold left click a little more without giving their life for it? And Snowday almost goes down a sliver of a health bar left, and that sliver is just enough to get out of dodge. Brazel takes down the Immortality Field from I'm So Done early, and Snowday will be the next to go down. Immortality Field taken offline. All damage becomes much more permanent than it could have. Immediately going to be Snowday traded out for Smo. 5v5, but Smo from beyond of the grave takes down I'm So Done. It looks like a lot of help comes through from those turrets, and all of a sudden the Swarm finding themselves on top. So they're going to find that first point cap as well.
Living up to their names, they might take this May out of the way too, so that's a nice little staggered kill that's going to take Ducks a little bit more time to get back from Spawn. I think two things happen there. One, Ducks, they get there a little bit slower. We saw the Storm just reaches this like point a few seconds before, and they can set up a bit better. It's way away.
I mean, look at that. Had to be used straight away because the line goes down a little bit too early. Snowday gets obliterated, and Punks with the double, making a 2.5 as that Diva Mech seems not far behind. Iceroll brings out the Blizzard, but again, too little, too late. Day late and a dollar short. Iceroll gets one Elim on their way out the door, but it's going to be the Swarm staying on top of things here. Looking good. They're already almost halfway down the stage, too.
The good news, I mean, the Storm uses 3 ultimates for one fight.
Good. They're already almost halfway down the stage. Coming in quickly, it's going to be a double in favor of the Ducks. Chronicler takes down Putter, but I think the damage has already been done once again. It's always these Elims coming in just too little, too late. Jag and the Swarm, they're finding themselves right on top of things. Snowday goes in, has the Shatter, and chooses to use it. That one feels personal, taking on that opposing Rhine early on. Maz is gone. I'm So Done is gone. Brazel takes out the Doomfist. Can the Swarm hold on long enough to stabilize?
Looks like they might. I mean, the teleporter's up. You see them teleporting right in, and I think that fight, it was so close. It looks like the Ducks might be able to turn it around, but they just don't have enough bodies on the plane anymore. That teleporter, it was perfect. Smo has absolutely been establishing themselves as an amazing DPS player on the Symmetra. Instead, it might only show up for teleports, except for this point. Here it is in action. They get also a late kill onto Putter. I'm not exactly sure what Putter was doing there. Maybe just wrong place, wrong time, but this is last fight territory. You have no ultimates to use after that Shatter, and I don't think the Symmetra chain is going to matter enough.
I mean, you would need to have a photon barrier online. You would need to be a full charge Symmetra to make that all worth it, especially as Snowday has already gone down. You need to be that pseudo shield. I agree with you wholeheartedly, Jag. That swap not going to do what they wanted. Itroll is gone. We're looking at a 6v4. The Diva Mech is gone, and here comes another Meteor Strike to seal the deal. Doesn't find the Elims, but creates the space to make the magic happen. The Swarm going to be winning out stage 2 of Li Jiang. We are going all the way to Control Center.
Yeah, I think that was 200 zeros back to back, but from different teams. So we're seeing kind of some play style things. It seems like the Swarm looking a lot more comfortable on Brawl, which is really unfortunate because this is usually a Brawl point. The Ducks looked really good on the Shadow Dive, though. Honestly, I would not be opposed to them running the Winston and just trying to run that one out. It does seem like they want to stick, though, to this Reinhardt comp. I would love to see them run a Junkrat instead. It seems like the Punk's Doomfist was displacing them a lot. A Junkrat could just be a lot of spam damage. But instead, the only change they're making is the Zarya. So no defensive matrix, instead bubbles, potentially to help out Snowday more, protect them, also build up some charge. We'll see if that is the difference maker they need.
I'm definitely excited to see what's going on here, but I'm not nearly as excited as I would have been if my boy Junkrat made an appearance. Punkstep goes in quick, does a little bit of damage to Itroll, but no Elim coming through. And speaking of Elims, Immortality Field already down on the side of the Ducks. It was there for hardly a moment in Drowsy, the first to fall. The defense matrix would have kept the Diva alive, but without only that bubble to prevail, that Zarya goes down early. The Swarm, they're going to get hyper aggressive here. They know they've got the numbers, but Smo and Punks in the blink of an eye are taken down in tandem, and it's going to be a 5v4 in favor of the Ducks, with those turrets still alive to make things a little bit harder for the Ducks. Excuse me, I meant the Swarm earlier. The countered pin comes through. That Reinhardt not getting out of there with even a lick of a second behind. The Swarm, they're going to lose that first fight, and the Ducks finding themselves back on top.
That was the definition of over-aggression. Instead of just taking the point over, taking high ground in server room, they run in, and problem at a Symmetra, you let them live long enough, they just charge up their beam, and that's exactly what they did.
Oh man, speaking of charge up, that full throttle punch is going to come through, finding Maz early, giving the Ducks essentially a fight win already. If they can get out with their lives, they should certainly try, but as the Ducks follow them all the way down and through their spawn, the Swarm are finding themselves in an increasingly tougher spot. Jack, I mean, how many teams have we seen spawn camped right here?
A lot, because this doorway is super hard to get through, especially those Symmetra turrets. They're going to slow you down. They're going to melt you down. Sure, you can break them if you hit them, but if you look the wrong way, you're immediately going to be just on your way back to spawn. There's so many ultimates now that the Swarm has to deal with. It looks like they're not even finding a way in, but there's finally their go key.
Oh my goodness, there it is. The W key going to be held down, but Jag, it takes 3 ultimates to do it. That feels a bit like overkill to me. The Ducks, they find themselves halfway done. They baited out 3 ults in a single fight, and even if they lose this, I'm going to consider them still on top of things. I mean, they've got 3 ults in their back pocket.
Well, you think that, but I mean, they could have had a lot more. It looks like they used Shatter as well as Meteor Strike in what was already a lost fight, so they tried to contest that instead of just letting it go. And sure, they still are very close to a lot of ultimates, but they could have had a lot more to work with here.
That's true. The stall potential is definitely available. They choose not to take it. They try to get out as a full team and recontest quickly, but even that recontest isn't going to be what they wanted. iTroll already down. Chronicler has the bomb, and if that immortality field goes down, this bomb could be a real doozy if they choose to use it here. Photon barrier, going to be coming through, and all of a sudden a grab down on the corner. I love that from Drowsy. Very difficult for a D.Va to eat, and even with that grab, I mean, nobody gets even close to death, unfortunately. D.Va bomb goes up, not going to be able to find Squad, and Punks will be the first one to go down. This is the same fight where iTroll died, but it's only been the Doomfist to go down so far.
Yeah, I mean, it looks like Ghost right now. No one is falling. Everyone is living, and it's just, we say that Snow Day falls, and it looks like the Swarm.
There it is.
They have just out-ulted. They've been more patient. They've waited to engage here, and they sustained through everything just to win this fight cleanly. And how they're going to surpass Ducks in that point percentage. They still have Amberjax. They're getting close to Meteor Strike. They're in a great position right now. The Ducks, like, they're finding ultimate issues. But think about this. If they use that grab and they still had Meteor Strike, even with the sound barrier, that would have been a team wipe. They've been able to, like, just push through with just, like, Ryan swinging into that. So those ultimates that they used, that they didn't need to in the lost fight, are really haunting them.
Oh, let's see who's going to be haunting who here. iTroll the first to go down once again. I believe that's 3 fights in a row that iTroll falls first. Putter already gone. All the damage off the table for the Ducks is going to be up to this Reinhardt, who's critical HP to try and left click hard enough to get some players down. Drowsy just barely, no, excuse me, not making it out with their mech. That might be a deal breaker, Jag. We've got 10 seconds left. 1 ultimate maybe on board for the Ducks, and I'm not sure they're even going to get close enough to the point to use them.
Yeah, I don't think anyone touches though. It looks like there is a contest that will at least trigger over time, but can they even make it back to the point after that? Lucio on the side. No, does not. And that's going to be the Swarm taking a very hotly contested first map here on Lijiang Tower. It's really crazy too, because like it was literally 100-0 towards Ducks.
Yeah, exactly.
Swarm. And this last map really could have gone either way. I just think a few not great decisions by Ducks in their ult economy was what really ended up costing them.
I mean, how fun. We got to see both teams at their absolute best, right? 100-0. And we got to see both teams and how they'd react when they really had to fight for it. They had to go in aggressively. They had to go in as quickly and as intelligently as they could. And like you mentioned, Jag, some really small mistakes had some really large consequences on both sides. And maybe if those teams can take this couple of minutes, as we're going to be throwing into a break here, to analyze and see what they're going to be able to kind of change up, that could really go a long way for them. I'm very excited to see what our next map is going to be, and B, how effectively these teams can adapt in just these couple of minutes. But folks, like I said, we're going to throw it to a break. We've got some tech issues going on here in the back line. We're going to try to get those figured out, but don't go anywhere. We've got a whole bunch of Overwatch left for you in just a couple of minutes. We'll see you soon.
He is going to use that opportunity. Doesn't have Trank. I'm going to Flux now. Does find Decepticon. This Hammond main finds Hades. Rally comes out from DK just to help sustain the fight a little more. Kills are starting to go the way of DK now as they've opened up a little bit more in terms of killing the backline. Fatfing back to help his team. And DK just has so much resources on the point right now. It's going to be really hard for Olympus to push into this. It's like Autumn's going to rally, just try and hope for the stall. See a big 1v1 happening on point. But it looks like Olympus is going to have numbers here coming back. Bob is going to be taking out Hammond main, but Rally and Flux coming out from DK. It is going to find the D.Va, and she is going to go down. And DK again. But Olympus already has respawns back. They're already 6. Fatfish, though, big kill onto Takeout. And then another headshot onto Hades. just back to back. So that's 2 kills instantly going to the side of DK. 3 kills to the side of DK. He has the or down away from the Zenyatta, so that was going to be pretty big. But they all opt to drop off of that high ground. So now Olympus does have high ground control of Spaceship. But Pulse Bomb comes out from high, but she killed him right before that Pulse was able to go off. Now Bob coming out from Hades. Yeah, it looks like between all of the ults, it's looking like kills are going to be going more towards Olympus, but Fatfish is able to instantly... Oh, he just killed the Bob, so he found 1 kill onto Autumn. Onto Sus, as he is 90% to his Graviton. Zhao Feng onto Autumn. Nano comes out onto Takeout, but that's going to proc Angry Cow to use his Transcendence. That Nano's not going to find too much as Hammerman finds a kill onto Decepticoop, and Rally comes out from Zhao Feng. So much is happening, and DK is going to push the card in. And DK has Fatfish on that Hanzo. We know he's filling that Hanzo after that last map on Gibraltar. Oh, and Striders takes out Crack Spoon with the mines just blinked right into it. Unfortunate. Dragons do come out. It's not going to find anybody, but it is going to split the team a little bit. Striders finds a kill onto Hammond Main. And Ultimate with the kill onto Zhao Feng. And it looks like GeForce will be taking point control. Oh, but Fatfish with a kill onto Ultima. And then with the kill onto Fatfish. And GeForce has a lot of ultimates online. Both teams, we're going to be seeing a very messy fight, I have a feeling. Where things come out. And Crackspoon with a big kill on the Magic Mate Ball. That means they're not going to be having a rally to work with here. But Strider is going to proc mines, and they're choosing to hit very early with that EMP. It does only find the Brigida as Grav comes out right after that Tranquility, but I don't think there's enough damage up there to be able to kill anything. As DK finds a few openings, the kill into the Sombra and Fatfish onto Ultima. And Hammond's just back here forcing point. The Tracer is here now to help, but we'll be taking out Hammond main. And Magic Mate Ball gets back just in time to force his rally. But both rallies are going to be coming out, so it's a pretty even playing field right now. But DK just has more numbers simply than GeForce, with Fatfish with another kill onto Anyhow. But it's just Magic Mate Ball and Strider there to contest. They do get 99, but so is DK. They're both on 99. Strider has to stall this point for a hot minute. He does go down. Does GeForce have a touch here? Diva's here, but it might... Ooh, Ultima comes in, gets instantly bashed, uses Pulse Bomb, doesn't find anybody with it. It's kind of on Diva here.
I could hear myself.
Diva does
like
get
it
the
was
touch
like
as,
I would be talking and then whenever I
uses mines down main. Rally came out, but by that time, DK had already won the map. Force him out of there. And it looks like they're going to be walking here with Rally trying to go in. But a big EMP from Pummy onto 5 members of DK Fan Club. Not going to be using ultimates here, but Magic Mate Ball props Rally to keep the fight going here. But 2 kills going to the way of DK. 3 kills. Fatfish on the Magic Mate Ball. No more Rally for them. And they still have Mines and Flux here to work with. And DK is going to be getting the point control back. 72. And point does flip to DK. Fatfish popping Visor up on the high ground. Still anyone's game as long as the point stays alive. EMP comes out with a kill onto Ihishi. And it looks like GeForce is going to take point control back, but Transcendence is going to come out with a big pulse from Ultima onto Zhao Feng. Transcendence just to try and keep people up from the side of DK, but Rally comes out and it's going to be going to GeForce this time. I feel like this is so much closer.
This is
so much closer than last week.
Much closer.
Rally coming out from Magic Mate Ball, and that is going to proc Ihishi to use his Flux with the Pulse Bomb coming down onto Anyhow. Just slammed him right down onto it. A lot of mines will be cleared there by Anyhow's Pulse Bomb comes out from Ultima, not going to find anybody. It does go to overtime here. DK with a substantial lead over them. GeForce is going to have to get a really clean fight here and not use too many ultimates, but Trance and a Pulse Bomb do come out, as well as Fatfish using his dragons. Does find a kill on the Magic Mate Ball, and then another kill on the Pummy. Back to back. Crackspoon. Yeah. Tracer. Zenyatta. What are the words? Zenyatta. But Fatfish finds Ultima, and DK just pushing it in. Big EMP comes out, finds all 5 of the remaining members on point from DK, but Hammond still looking for a Mega back there. Ihishi comes out with the Flux, and then Diva Ball from Anyhow finds a kill on the Zenyatta. Anime on point, but it looks like GeForce is going to take point control back here. where they can see a lot of people.
You look tired. Get into position.
He's coming out from the side of Bud. You can see that one coming. Ultimate find the kill, but Angry Hal then Strider's on the Zoo Bell Fang and coming out. The ultimate kill is Ultimate and Diva here left on the flank. The Crack Spoon and Diva, sorry.
Allah till
Wow.
Nat anyways.
Pop.
It looks like you're gonna be trying to find anyone. Riders did find a EC a little while ago. Probably why they wanted to sorry after
60 seconds.
Very decisive. Oh, it wasn't a Zenyatta play the game. I was baited by Punny. Here comes a big EMP.
30 seconds remaining.
Okay, from getting that full cap as Rally comes out from Zhao Fang. Transcendence from D and a big plus from Aichi, but he is not going to get anybody with it. David Cal was there.
10 seconds remaining.
Braxton picking out Angry Cal and then Angry Cal.
وليهم قوتهم وليهم قوتهم
Now they're trying to bomb with his move from Aichi will be using Flux. Don't stun anybody. Start to remind them that that one does take out both of the supports of DK. As Hammond Main instantly loses his whole health bar. EMP does come out. I don't think it found anybody because everyone was already dead.
play of the game.
And G-Force able to solve that air. And Strider are getting very low. Strider's just getting taken out by that kill. Followed up.
What is going on, all you tanks, healers, and damage dealers, and welcome back once again. Thank you all so much for bearing with us through those tech/audio issues. Hopefully we've got that all figured out. We're going to be jumping right back into the swing of things. The Swarm and the Ducks going toe-to-toe on all three stages of Lijiang Tower. But Jag, Lijiang Tower did come to a close, and we're getting ready to jump into map 2.
Yeah, it was the Swarm taking that 1-0 lead in what was a hotly contested map. I mean, every point seemed like it had a different story to tell. 2 of complete domination for either side. That last one was super close, down to the wire. Just a few key mistakes by the Ducks in their economy, as well as a little bit of positioning that ended up costing them the map. But here they are, one more chance. Because this is a 1-2. So
Yes.
already, the Swarm being up means that, I mean, this is go big or go home. There's no elimination bracket. It is just elimination straight away for the Ducks. So they'll have to make their final stand here. Or maybe they'll be able to force a map 3. But Dorado makes me think they want to play dive. And we saw how strong Snow Day looked on the Winston early on that first point of Lijiang Tower. Getting some double bubble action here, actually, on the attacking side. Unless,
Oh, that would be nice.
well, we'll see. I don't want to say anything too soon because the attackers can still change what they do. But defense definitely going to be running a wrecking ball comp.
Yeah, and this is going to be dangerous. I mean, this comp, to me, is all about dealing damage as quickly as humanly possible, right? And when you're walking into, and let's not focus, like you said, too hard on the offense here, but if you're walking into an Orisa Zarya, there are a lot of ways to absorb damage on a team comp like that one. So that may accidentally be a very good counter to what the Swarm is trying to bring out right now. This Wrecking Ball, I think it's really going to rely on how successful they are. Can they get in quickly? And as we rotate now into a more familiar double bubble competition, I get, honestly, even a little more scared of this Winston. If Snow Day gets even an inch of success, they take out one of these supports, the Swarm is going to crumble.
Yeah, absolutely. But can they even get onto the high ground? You see, like, I mean, they're stacked up there, so they know what's coming. They're trying to avoid any chance of that Winston really getting the value they need. Right now, they need to make sure their Genji doesn't die. But actually, it's the Zenyatta duel that's won out by the Ducks.
I'm afraid of. That's what I'm terrified of, Jack. Not exactly how I thought it was going to go down, but that Zenyatta falling is still just as scary. I think the Swarm really needs that Discord orb. They really need that pocket healing. And now it's Punks is the next to fall. We're looking at a 6v4 in favor of the Ducks. Only one on cart, but they've already made it underneath that arch, and it looks like they are not slowing down anytime soon. Maz bites the bullet, or I guess bites the electricity, bites the Tesla coil a little bit earlier than they may have wanted. With only 45 seconds off the clock, we're already getting ready for that first point, Cat.
That card's never been contested. It has not been even touched once by the defense. And they're just giving it up. They have to. There's no way to recontest this. And the aggression from the Ducks, it just continues. They're still pushing them back. That means the cart won't get progress for a few minutes, but they still want to win this fight.
Yeah, this is just amazing to say the least. But Jack, there is such a thing as over-aggression, right? And that's definitely what I'm going to be afraid the Ducks are bringing out right here. Chronicler takes down one, Kim takes out another, and all of a sudden the support line for the Ducks is gone. Nobody's on the cart. They all went a little too far. They lose their supports, and they've got to tuck tails and waddle away.
They do. I mean, it looks like they might be able to wrap things up. Okay, maybe not. They will finally get possession of the cart and positioning on the cart, which I think is what they really need. But yeah, they went a bit too far forward, a little bit too close to the sun. I think the big thing is they didn't really use too many ultimates there, which is good, because they're coming up on this blade, and with no Ana, I'm wondering, like, do they commit the Zenyatta ultimate? Do they commit the Lucio ultimate? Both of them are defensive ultimates. You usually don't even see Lucio and Zen in combination. So I feel like one of them has to be more of an engaged tool, right?
You would most certainly think so. I think it's going to be flatline on the Zenyatta, but if Itroll goes down, racing on the Lucio, but the Zenyatta is the one to bite the bullet. Kim going to be taken out. Brazel traded as well, so things that looked really bleak for the Ducks. There actually could be a winnable fight if they play their cards right. One more Elim to tie things up just like that. We're looking at a clean 3v3. The Ducks are going to be the ones to technically win the fight, and that's just a win by them being able to move the cards.
They're still being contested, right? Though, like, the tanks are there, the Lucio's gone, so it's like, give a little, get a little bit, and yeah, they're making progress, but I'm not sure if they'll have enough to win this fight cleanly. Ooh, that's very dangerous. Doesn't get the final touch. Forced up the Transcendence.
Oh my goodness. Oh, and still able to find the Elim on Kim. That Transcendence does not find the save they're looking for. The Wrecking Ball goes down early, and Cutter, things got scary, but by golly, Jack, did they make the magic happen. Things look great. The Wrecking Ball taking it offline. Here comes the counter pull. Storm, but it's not going to be able to find it versus Cutter. Finally down. Drowsy not far behind. Looks like they may be getting ready to destabilize once again. Punks with the high news, drops from the high ground, and he's not going to find Swat. Unfortunately, goes towards the shield. Hey, they made the space they needed. Their team's still going to win the fight after all.
Yeah, both of those Transcendences being forced out because of the Zenyatta's being in not so great positions. If that Transcendence was still up for I'm so done, I think that could have been a lot different. Wow, and yeah, again, like, I think this is something I've seen a little bit.
Appraisal!
What is going on? Okay, this fight, like, it feels like it's over and then it's not over, so it's like maybe you should just keep talking the entire time. But what I was gonna say is the Ducks, like, you don't, I know it's a dive hop and you do play spread out, you play a little bit of goosey away from each other, but you don't have to be going into them when everyone else is still in the spot.
Yeah. Yeah, I think that's a really good point. There's definitely, like I was kind of talking about, a limit to over-aggression. Dive is about getting up close personal, it's about getting hyper-aggressive against the enemy team, but overextension is very much a thing. We have seen many teams lose for that very reason. So I'm with you there. I think if you win the initial fight and then slow it down a little bit, it's not a bad thing to slow down a fight when you have to. Drowsy has to commit the bomb because they lose them back a little early, and Punk's already with another high nude, rootin', tootin', and ready for shooting. Again, finds the Lamont Drowsy early to 65 in favor of the Swarm, and they've taken a nearly 6-minute time back. They've burned it down to only 130 seconds.
Not only that, but they're still, like, in this fight. Like,
exactly.
The Ducks have not backed out, so they're burning more time with the puck. They're losing more members. Every time someone falls, that's another 10 seconds you have to wait, basically. You see, yeah, their support's falling lower and lower now. Gone. So they do get a DMAC, but is it worth it? Because, like you said, they had so much time. That first point looked incredible. Ever since then, it's just been a slow burn of them staggering themselves out, running into fights they didn't need to. They do have this slight window where Chronicler resets themselves because they were a pilot TV, they wanted the full mech back. but I don't even think the team's there to capitalize.
And Jack, it's really fascinating because not only are these fights taking a really long time, but the Ducks will rotate it as a full team. They'll move all in together, and then the second they get into the engagement, like a firework, they explode in every direction. And then all of a sudden, instead of taking, you know, 2 3v1s or something that's sort, they're taking 6 1v1s and often losing about half of them. So it really does become disastrous for this team as we move down the line. I would like to see a little bit more team coordination, team communication, and target focus. I think that target focus can go a really long way. And now Flatline living up to the name because their internet has done just that. And unfortunately, with that DC, we're going to have to wait. But on the bright side, we need to talk a little bit more about this because other than that kind of immediate target focus that I was talking about, Jag, is there anything else? You're like the Ducks, you've got to change this.
I mean, I think just like, I don't think it's anything different. I think it's just kind of more along the lines of what you said. Like, Dive is coordinated, right? It's coordinated chaos, the way I always describe it. Like, yes, it does look like just 1,000 things are happening at once, but your idea is if you're going with the Winston or the Wrecking Ball, you've got a target in mind, and then you, and usually your Tracer, are going to be there to follow up. Maybe you've got an Echo in the sky, like, you know, there as well. You know, whatever your second DPS is, they're usually doing something to help out in this situation, whether from afar or, you know, basically right there with you. You don't see that right now. You see Sode going in, getting stunned by the Brig, and then just not being able to get out. You see the Tracer trying to take 1v1s before the rest of the team is there, touching the cart, maybe getting a little more progress, but then being tracked down. That you see, like, you know, Flatlines trying to get there before they DC, but then they just can't get there in time. So that Tracer uses recall, they are done for good. So I think they really have to understand what the comp does, but also just kind of timing. You know, say, all right, I'm going in, 1, 2, 3, dive, whatever the call is, and then you execute that plan. But right now, it just kind of seems like, all right, like we said, it's like 6 1v1s. Like, we're all going to take one fight and hopefully we win one. And that worked out somewhat at certain points of this stall, but now the defense, they're too close to spawn. They have too many ultimates that they're rotating, and they are playing just really well and coordinated.
I mean, you've just got to win out in a full 6. When you're this close to your enemy spawn, you've got to win in a complete and total team wipe. Because if you do go, you know, oh, we win 50% of the fights, you're looking at a 3v3. You've done nothing but cut the numbers on both sides. It doesn't give your team any kind of advantage or any kind of opportunity. And it's definitely going to hurt them as we look down the line. But I think we're having a small tech error on one of the players this time. So we're going to go ahead and, oh, just kidding. They're ready. I lied. They're ready. We don't have to throw to a break, everybody. Great news. We do not have to toss to a break. We're going to be jumping right back in to Dorado. Dag, only a minute something left on the clock. I mean, we need to see one fluid, concrete performance from the Ducks here. They need to win a single fight to cap that 3rd point, and then hopefully they can tell a bit of a different story from what we've seen here on second.
Yeah, all together. That's really the name of the game right now. I mean, it's not Overwatch 2 just yet, where it's a bit more all over the place, you know, as we've seen in Overwatch League. There's still a lot of MOBA elements to this game where you really need to play around your tanks, make sure that everyone's in sync. So like, you have the Transcendence. And you have a blade. Odds are that your blade will be canceled out by their Transcendence, but you can use that to just bait them out of their trance. Then you use your trance to go in, use all the extra healing to just melt them down. There's no Ana to mitigate that. So if there's a way to win this, it's just can they execute? Taking that high ground, that's a great first step.
That's absolutely a great first step. And I love the rotation from the Ducks. They just try to have as much natural cover as possible, get in without taking a lot of damage. The blade from Michael gets pulled and gets pulled straight into the underworld. There's going to be a Punks with a double kill now onto Flatline. Eats the beat, forces the Transcendence, and even that is not going to be able to find much of anything, Jack. I think Punks just single-handedly brought that fight to a close. Kim able to find a double kill of their own, really looking to seal the deal. But my goodness, I mean, Punks finds the Genji, destroys Blade, and then eats both of the support ultimates.
I don't think the sound barrier went off. I think Flatline, there's a term for it. I think it's they Ajax their feet. They died in the middle of casting it. They couldn't get it off. And those mines from Kim, I mean, they canceled out the Transcendence that I talked about using as a countermeasure. They had to use it immediately, but it still couldn't save their Genji who's in Blade.
Again, small errors in real time in this situation. So able to find Flatline once again. Lucio doesn't get into this fight, or he's taken right back out of it. Eyeful eliminated, obliterated by Punks. Mid-air there, Brave will find the Elam on this Sode, and Jag. It looks like a win condition has been set for the Swarm. They just need to get this part 90.94 meters. And if Punks plays even half as good as they just did, I think this should be easy for them.
they swapped to Cassidy after that
Score.
first point where they
0.
really, I mean, they rolled over. They were not
Sides.
able to hold that first point at all. And that's why we thought, oh man, Duck's looking real good. But that Cassidy pick really made a world of a difference because they were mostly just on the high ground alone. A lot of the time they had the Zen Orb for healing, but they were just canceling out any attempt for the Ducks to try to get around, try to flank. You know, they have Genji, they have Tracer. Neither of them finding out a lot of success against this Cassidy who has the flashbang, who has a lot of great ways to instantly kill squishier DPS heroes with those headshots. It's really great at holding their ground there up top and never letting it go. Like, I'm trying to think about when they ended up falling in a fight here, like at the end of the second point. I can't think of once.
Yeah, you know what? I really don't think I can either. If they had, it must have been right at the beginning, and I'm not even sure that actually happened. But talk about an incredible performance, especially off the back of a not so hot one, right? We saw them lose first point with, I think, 5:46 on the clock, so things were really against them. They hold for nearly 6 minutes to prevent that second half, and now, like I said, their win condition has been set 90.94 meters. The Ducks, they've got time to swap, but the pulled pork might not be a bad way to open things up.
Let's see if they can do that. One thing I do like
3, 2,
from the side of the Ducks is they have an Ana this time. I think that was one thing they were really missing is some utility. I mean, they had the Zenyatta Discord Orb, but that's about it. Now they've got a Sleep Dart and Anti-Nade. They do a lot. It looks like Swarm realizes, alright, well that didn't work, so we're just going to go back to our Wrecking Ball Diva composition. I mean, this feels very similar from the Swarm, where they were able to stabilize eventually. Though I want to see how Punks does on this Echo. Going from hit scan to more of that projectile can be difficult because you're trying to aim where they are, not or where they you think they are, and then be like exactly, not just like where they were, like you can on hit scan.
Yeah. On hit scan, you get to click exactly on them, and it's great. But projectiles, you gotta see where they're going, not where they are. And Brayful able to find that first. Even turns it into a double. We got one bloodthirsty support on the field, and it's gonna be a Zen picking up 2 very crucial healers for the team comp that the Ducks are currently running. Punks finds another one and blink, and you miss it, Jack. Ducks are just, I mean, they are ripped apart.
As my good friend Lemon Kiwi says, that is some supportal combat right there. Brazel opening up with 2 picks and Punks being able to clean up the rest. Echo, you know, I was a little bit worried with those different styles of kind of how you're hitting your targets, but Echo can melt everyone down with that focusing beam. And was that? I think that might have been just as fast as we saw from the Ducks. That was a very quick cap.
About 20 seconds slower, but on a map like Dorado, that's basically the same thing. It usually takes people a long time to make it that far. I mean, we've seen probably hundreds of games of Dorado stalled before that first point down, and now both teams have successfully come through and found that level of progress. Crumpler takes out Mutter early. The Ducks, they have not been able to take a 6v6, Jack. Somebody gets taken out so early every single time.
And so late. I feel like it's always like in the beginning and in the end, like when finally the full team's there, someone just dives in before anyone else can actually help them.
Once again, deep into the back line, flat line, taken down. Oh, doesn't even get to play the Ash. A phenomenal headshot from Mutter to stabilize once again. The Diva chasing the Echo directly into back, taking her out of the fight. Reese for a moment. The Nano Widow, not able to find much value at all. Keeps her alive, but not long enough to find any real value. Baz rarely keeping a team alive, having them get hyper aggressive when they need to most. Bomb is gone, Winston is gone, and now Ash is gone. Here looking at 3D sticks for Swarm, popping that minefield onto the high ground, taking every single inch of space available. Next, it might be over. The Transcendent has to go deep. It has to be able to go right out of the point. Now half the teams are going to make the win. Here comes a bomb and a counter Transcendent. The bomb might be used. Oh, it doesn't find anything but skill. No day. Will go down. Trilogy not far behind. That's all. I've got it. Punks. I find 1. You need to find 5 more, my friend, and seal the deal. Brazel takes down the Tracer. And that is going to be all she wrote. The Swarm walking away with a 2-0 victory from Ralph Arden.
Like Hornets, right? They're living up to their namesake. They get in there. They just get on one person. They make sure they fall. We're going to see some more of that Cassidy gameplay from Punk, who just, honestly, I got to say, like, from this map alone, they might be my MVP of the series. They really were impressive as things out. That's them shooting down the blade. Just, all right, just roll through it. You know, punch as well as a headshot. That's all that it takes these days, I guess. Genji played not super strong right now in Overwatch Classic, but what's really strong was the Swarm's team play. You know, they definitely had some moments where it looked like maybe it was going to go the other way. They lost first point pretty quickly, but then, you know, it doesn't even matter. They regained, they got a cap even or just around the same time themselves in that second point. They did not look like they were missing a beat there. They're our first team to move on to the semifinals, which means we're going to see more of them today. That is our only match. We're broadcasting from the quarterfinal round, but we're going to be casting both semifinals here, which means you get to see all of the teams left remaining in the field. I can't wait for that.
Yeah, we've got both semifinals left today, and then the grand finals will be tomorrow. But hey, we'll cross that bridge when we get to it. For now, folks, we're going to be throwing into a super short break. We're going to get our first semifinal ready. We'll see you right back here with the Latency Season 1 Make Community Invitational in just a couple of minutes. Don't go far. Semifinal ready. We'll see you right back here with the Latency Season 1 Make Community Invitational in just a couple of minutes. Don't go far. May Community Invitational. I'm still Sepulence, still joined by Jag, and we're going to be bringing you our second of 3 series here tonight. We've got DK Fan Club up against GeForce. Now, Jag, DK Fan Club, we don't know super well, but GeForce, that's a team you and I are both very familiar with.
Yeah, we both casted them quite a bit. Really been one of the best teams in the Tier 3, Tier 2.5, Tier 2 scene, honestly. I think they've really just made a lot of growth and progress in the last few months, basically since it became 2022. They have done a lot of great things, won a lot of tournaments. And in fact, they actually won a tournament right here at Latency just a few months ago, the Community Cash Cup, the first ever Latency event. So that was really fun to be a part of back then. But this is now, some things have changed. Magic 8 no longer on the roster. Angelic has now gone into that support role. But one thing as well, we might not do DK Fan Club that well. These teams actually know each other very, very well because they've played each other twice in 2 different qualifiers in this event. And both times, it was GeForce that came out on top of that 2-1.
So, Jag, I mean, third time's the charm, right? A saying that we are all very familiar with. And maybe this is finally the time DK Fan Club can break through. But, like you said, GeForce, they are not I guess they are a force to be reckoned with. They are a team that is very strong, even with Magic 8 missing. Magic 8, a personal favorite of mine. Even with that player missing, it's still going to be a real powerhouse team. It's like taking out one piece of the puzzle and putting in an almost identical piece. Nothing has really changed, but it's going to feel a little bit different. And DK Fan Club, they're coming in with a couple of recognizable names as well, starting on Oasis. Let's see who's going to be able to kick things off first.
Yeah, Hammond Main, probably the name that I know the most.
Yeah, definitely.
I guess they're going by Bastion main now, so there you go. But anyway, I mean, very, very well-known player within the scene, but beyond that, a lot of unknowns. But Oasis, I feel like, versus Lijiang Tower, there aren't as many crazy strategies you can run. It feels like there's a lot of just potential for Wrecking Ball comps. And, I mean, we know GeForce. They're
right.
They say this themselves, they are a team of one trick. They can play more than that, but they like to one trick. So this Wrecking Ball combo is definitely what we'll be seeing from them basically all series.
Madero goes down very quickly, but luckily enough, not down to 0. Instead of Goob, who's trading out Astro and Ultimate Weapon, not far behind. DK Fan Club, they have the numbers, but perhaps for just a moment, I'm getting up close and personal with the time to strike in the brig. Will go down quick. Angelic going to be able to bite the bullet. Bastion main not far behind. A lot of back and forth for Jag. I'm not even sure who has more players right now. It looks like it's going to be DK Fan Club collapsing on that point a little bit faster. Going to be able to find that first one tap.
Yeah, they get the first point of cap, but is there going to be a re-engagement? GeForce seems like they want to try to test this again. Recall already gotten out from Ultimate Wet. They're still pushing their numbers, and now they actually have more people on point, but they got to work out for the flank and Ultimate Whip and Madero. Oh, they just got Sigma'd.
Oh, he's just walking up and taking them down early, turns it into a triple kill, takes out half of the team with relative ease. Like you said, they just got Sigma. That is a Sigma play for you if I've ever seen one. Comes in quick, leads house, and goes right back out. 1 quarter done for that first stage of Oasis.
Yeah, you don't usually see a Hanzo in this comp, but man, is it working? Those Storm arrows, they just like semi-auto arrows basically, and you can fire them away, and look at the work that it's been put in because of that Dragon Strike already online, ready to go. They could wait for the Gravitic Flux to combine it, but do they even need it? They just continue to win out 1v1s.
And out these 1v1s, it's not the easiest way to win this game, but it's certainly one of them. Able to find an Elim early, Ultimate Web already down. Anyhow, Smek is going to be taken out of the fight before it can even really make an impact. Angelic is gone, and anyhow, not far behind. Jack, DK Fan Club doing such a good job of not letting GeForce play the game. They find single after single after single, and there can never be a full fight because there's never 6 players from GeForce ready.
No, they continue to just try to find some sort of advantage, but instead they're actually putting themselves in a huge disadvantage. The ult bank from DK Fan Club, they've got everything to work with here in what's basically a last fight if they're able to stall this out long enough.
Angelic goes in quick, finds Bastion main, Army is taken down, and anyhow Smek gone once again. This Diva just cannot find the value he wants, forcing out Transcendent. That's going to be Gravitic Flux down. Pulse Bomb was used as well. Now the Transcendent from Goob is going to be out to make sure that DK Fan Club stays up for as long as humanly possible. We're winding down to the final 15 seconds of the match. So Rally from Green Bean keeping the team up and running. Admix still has that dragon and hasn't even chosen to use the Dragon Strike finally will be coming through, and with that might be enough to seal the deal. Angelic going to fall. Ultimate Web gets on the point for just a moment, and like that, Jag, DK Fan Club are seconds away from winning the first stage 100-0.
Sombra's still there, Wrecking Ball in, so they actually have members on the point. This Sigma's so low, but they do fall. Well, for a second, they might get away with that one, but immediately trade it out. It is all over the place. Bastion main hacked up, has mines, but can't use them. You're gonna have to use it quick, and they fall, but they get them off.
Oh, Jag, I love being wrong. I'll say that right here. Bastard Man's gone. Ahi was already taken offline. Both the tanks missing. Can GeForce collapse when they need to most? Anyhow, brings out the bomb. Not able to find much, but it's clear to the point. Unbelievably so. Up to 99, but in the final moments, in their swan song, the final hour, they're able to flip that point right back. GeForce finally getting some footing here on Oasis. Let's see how long they can hold it. They cannot make a single mistake.
A little bit of footing, but yeah, they're playing really aggressively too. They're going range this one, and so far it's working. It's working for now. That's what I'll say. I mean, will this continue to work throughout the rest of this point, however long it lasts? I'm not sure, because they definitely caught DK Fan Club off guard, so they just weren't prepared for that engagement like that. As this continues on, okay, they've got the EMP, so that's like probably one fight win as long as they execute well enough. It's after that where it's like, ooh.
Oh, and there it is. It's going to be 4 down. The Zenyatta doesn't even get to know he's being EMP'd before he was sent back to the junkyard. It's going to be Ahi. In fact, they're not far behind either. GeForce, they're looking good. The back cap almost, but almost only going to count horseshoes and hand grenades.
That's not going to amount to much. Actually, I think if anything, it works out in GeForce's favor because now DK Fan Club, they have to wait another 10 seconds for the respawns to come through. In the meantime, GeForce are finally starting to circle ultimates. Cycle ultimates, excuse me, not circle them. I guess circle's like a cycle, but I mean, they've got the minefield, they've got the pulse bomb, and there's the minefield right now, but it gets stunned out!
It's out, it got out. It got out before the accretion hits. The minefield is still available. Ultimate takes down Groove early on. The Zenyatta's been taken offline. The Brig not far behind it as he supports are taken down quickly. Jack, there is so little DK Fan Club can do. They take out anyhow, but in a 4-for-1, a 3-for-1 trade is not the kind of trade your team wants in a situation like this. GeForce one fight away from being able to sneak this first stage out from underneath the noses of DK Fan Club.
Well, Flux was using that too, it looks like, because that's not on cooldown basically, but they're actually going to still have Dragon Strike, Transcendence, Rally's not too far behind, so DK Fan Club is in a position where they could just basically out-ultimate them, but it really has to be in the right order. Like, I feel like Rally has to be the first thing that comes out. You got to make sure that no one falls early in this. You also really want to find Madero, because if you get rid of that sound barrier, then there's not really much they can do.
Exactly. That's what I'm thinking. You bring out the Rally first, and I think that's a great opportunity, because if you play your cards right, you can win a fight with just the Rally. If you do enough damage early enough, and as Crackspoon goes down quickly here, it's going to look a little bit worse. Fatfish sends out those dragons, a headshot out of the Sober. He has to translocate out, but the damage may be done. The Hanzo might be facing the wrong way. Players down looking at 6v4 in favor of GeForce. They're using 3 ultimates to boot, 3 more locked and loaded in just a couple of seconds, but nobody is able to stay on that point long enough. The Diva Bomb makes enough space for the team to succeed. GeForce, I mean, they reverse sweep a single stage there.
Yep, 0 to 100. If they lose even one more fight, not even lose a fight, if they give a point possession for too long, it is over on that round, but they're able to bring it back. And I think there we see a great example of why self-destruct isn't necessarily only about eliminations. It was a zoning ultimate. It really, really was. You cannot touch. You touch, you die. You're not going to last long enough to really make anything impactful there, so DK Fan Club, they try to back out. But they're not the team of Elucio, so they have no way to really re-engage that, because they use so many ultimates just trying to get onto the site. There's nothing else they can do there to help themselves out. But now we're moving on to University, usually known as a Brawl Haven. Going to be a lot more Wrecking Ball here, as is the norm between these high-level teams here in the Tier 2.5 scene. And again, okay, so this time actually Inchaluk's going to the Brigitte instead of the Lucio. So Rally versus Rally potential.
Both teams bringing out the lowest possible healing composition in the game in that Briggs end, but both teams have 2 characters expected to heal themselves, being that Tracer and that Wrecking Ball. They're expected to play more off health packs than their actual supports, and it looks like Crackspoon did not get the opportunity to do that, taking down early, loses that 1v1 against Ultima Web. Astro going in deep, looking for that slam, but nobody is brave enough to peek out of that mini room.
I mean, there's no Sombra now from Pummy. This time it's in Ash, so they're looking for long distance. There, it helps out. I was going to say, they don't hack out the Wrecking Balls, so usually they can just run around, but it doesn't even matter.
Oh no, Astro 25 HP, but nobody chases. Such an easy Elim given away. They get down to the Mega. There's 325 at least for a moment. Ultima Web losing that 1v1 the second time around. This is just so unbelievably back and forth, but GeForce won the initial fight. They found that primary cap, and at the end of the day, that's the real objective.
You know exactly what the supports are too. They killed the Pilot Diva, so now it's a 5v6 no matter way you slice it. Like you said, there's no healing. So again, Astronix falls solo. Ultimate pass to recall. The Transcendence is going to save the day.
Transcendence, I definitely did not expect it, but it's a choice they're going to make, and by golly, Jag, does it not work out well. Luckily enough, you force Transcendence out of Goob. The Pulse Bomb was used as well, but that bomb coming in probably too little, too late. Pretty fast charging ultimate already a quarter of the way there, but DK Fan Club, they are ripping GeForce apart here.
Yeah, I'm not a fan of the Ash pick, and I'll tell you why. I feel like on some control maps, like I'm thinking like Busan,
Sure.
the one that like has basically that big gong in the middle, that has
Yeah.
a really great sight lines. There isn't too much natural cover to worry about. But here, I mean, the walls are so high, you basically have one or two ways to look at someone as an Ash.
Yeah.
You don't really get as much value as you could otherwise. Even though it worked out earlier, I did see some picks. I feel like this would be time for Hummy to maybe try something else.
I wholeheartedly agree with you, Jack, because not only is there smaller spaces to get value, but they're predictable spaces, and the enemy team can be even more aggressive against you. Makes it even harder for you to find real value off the back. Maybe a dynamite here or there, but when a Tracer sneaks up behind you, unless you're landing that right-click headshot, it's going to be a very quick elimination against you. A lot of damage to be dealt. Such a strong start for G-Force, but ever since they lost that fight, they have not been able to regain their footing. A lot in part due to this Tracer. I mean, look how close that Zen was. A fraction of a health bar away from Jasmine still. It's that Hanzo arrow, that log, able to put Zenyatta down. G-Force on a tuck tail, get back into spawn.
They have ultimates to use here, but they're not finding a way in. I really love this again, like rally, great way to initiate, use that early on, build up that armor, make sure everyone has that extra protection, and then just run on to the point. They need to overpower them to make sure the Sigma doesn't have good sightlines. Because like you said, like sightlines here, a bit predictable. The Sigma's playing them really well.
Oh, no! All right, if it hasn't been clear, they need to swap off Ash. Hopefully that was the drilled message home that a change is necessary. Now we're looking to sunken costs fallacy, possibly thinking, I almost have Bob, it'll be worth it. And it looks like with or without that Ash, G-Force is going to be able to finally reestablish their footing.
Two support ultimates.
Right
It's two support ultimates. That's such a big investment. Like you'd never want to use them at the same time. They do get a little bit more breathing room because of that nice kill from Madero onto Goops. They can, you know, wait a second. I don't think they're gonna swap off of this just yet because that Bob is so close by, already at 87%. But if this fight doesn't work out, like they get one more chance to swap before they go to around 3.
If even, honestly, I mean, already at 80, they win the fight, and if it's a long one, it could be up to 90 before somebody even gets the chance to respawn. Green Bean goes down, Ultima Web's Pulse Bomb finds some value, and speaking of value, hopefully Pummy can get just a little bit more. We see a double headshot, but 2 different people, so it's not going to be able to confirm an Elim on either. Anyhow, takes down Fatfish and Pummy. I mean, Bob might just be great to zone off the point.
They just throw it into them. I mean, it does give a little bit of crowd control, right? It knocks them up into the air. So that could just top them from touching, or stop them from touching the point last second, but what's coming out first is the Gravitic Flux.
Gravitic Flux comes out, it baits down the Bob, and it actually finds quite a bit of value out of the Sigma. Unfortunately, he's got the supports in the back line. Isn't going to go down. Instead, it's Pummy and their Bob, who are headshot by Fatfish early on. 98%, but you're missing a damage dealer. Madero takes the one down to their own, and all of a sudden the supports are coming back to life. Like you said, Jag, this is supportal combat. If we wanted to see it in G-Force, they've got the numbers. They are back on top, and if one more person, DK Fan Club goes down, I'm confident to say this is over. The wick begins to tick, and somebody barely going to be able to touch. Keeping the dream alive, but for how long? Pummy on the legs finds one. There goes one more. Pummy, why weren't you on the legs earlier? We've seen a double kill already. The blink right into the wrecking ball mine. Just like that, it's gonna be all she wrote. Close, but no cigar for the DK Fan Club. G-Force winning Oasis 2-0.
Yeah, doing some push-ups there at the end, Pummy. And I mean, like, one thing we gotta talk about is there's no doubt that Pummy's a fantastic player. We're not, like, giving them flack for how they're playing. It's more just the character choice sometimes might not make the most sense in the grand scheme of things, but they still make it work. They still win that one out. And at the end of the day, they take the map. So, you know, if anything, I'm sure they're gonna be happy with the performance no matter what, as is the whole team, especially on that first round. On City Center was crazy. The fact that they were able to turn that round from a 99-0 was absolutely monumental. And here, again, it's another comeback victory. I think it was like, what, 80-40 when they capped it again? And then they just ran it the whole way back. At a fight they lost, Pummy actually, a fight they lost Bob in. And it was a 5v6, and they still were able somehow to scratch it out. Yeah, that's the portal combat that we've talked about multiple times. Even without Magic 8-Ball, this support lineup is still incredible and not one you ever want to have test you. So it's going to be map 1 going their way. But again, we're going to be going to Escort in just a little bit. We've already seen Dorado, and I believe the whole map pool is basically available, which means there's a lot of other options here at play as I pull up my notes. I mean, we got Havana, Junkertown, Watchpoint Gibraltar, Rialto, and Route 66. So there's a lot more choices here. And I think we're going to see DK Fan Club choose something that works towards Wrecking Ball.
So, okay, so working towards Wrecking Ball, I can definitely get behind that. I can agree with that. If there was one map we didn't want to see, what map would that be?
Ooh, I mean, it's really hard to run Wrecking Ball, I feel like, actually, on Watchpoint Gibraltar, which you're like thinking, oh, like, it's a dive map, but the way Winston controls high ground is so much different because he's got his bubble, his shield, he's got a more reliable jump. Like, sure, you can use, Hammond's abilities to get up into places, but sometimes his grapple doesn't work correctly, or maybe sometimes you mistime it, you go too far, too short. Winston, you can kind of always just guesstimate the trajectory of that jump up onto somewhere. And if you can control it like that, it works out really, really well. So I think Watch by Gibraltar is probably one they want to avoid. Other than that, honestly, maybe Havana, maybe Rialto as well, because those are more like Orisa maps. But
Yeah.
maybe that's what you want to pick. Maybe actually you want to go towards the Orisa yourself. We've only seen them both run Wrecking Ball so far, but if you know that G-Force is going to continue to force Wrecking Ball the entire time, maybe you want to force them into a double shield matchup where they don't do as well, and then either they mirror you or they just continue to get CC'd.
Yeah, they mirror you, or the game they're playing becomes even harder. They have to walk right into a bunch of crowd control over and over. And we have gotten confirmation that our next map is going to be Junkertown. Definitely a weird choice, not one that I see as often. But, before we talk too much about that, there's this kind of joke in the collegiate scene about Watchpoint Gibraltar, how absolutely nobody wants to play it. Like, it's just about, everybody's like, Gibraltar second, a lot of the collegiate players believe it's one of the worst map points in the game. They're like, I don't like it, I don't want to be on it. Nobody ever gets past it. So it's funny how I can't even remember the last time I casted that map because nobody wants to be on it. We've got a side swap here. It looks like DK Fan Club starting on that defense first. And Jag, I just want to see one thing. I'm a simple man. I see a Widow 1v1 and I'm happy.
Yeah, but I'm not sure if you're going to get it. I mean, we do see it's coming out for the defense for sure, but I'm not sure if we're going to see that on the side of G4. It doesn't seem like something they want to do. They are actually showing us, at least for the time being, potentially that double shield comp, but of course, immediately they swap off it. I do believe I've actually seen Astronex play Roadhog a few times.
Yeah.
Definitely in their wheelhouse. Usually they'll do it when anyhow is on the Sigma, so it's not like double shield, but it is a shield, so that's, something. But you might get your wish. Pummy is going to be coming out here on the Widowmaker, and there it is. Widow 1v1, although they're not looking at each other at all. Maybe
not Widow 1v1.
It's more like eventually they'll find each other, right? It's two
sweet.
Lost souls trying to find those headshots.
That's so kind. Eventually these lost souls will find one another, and it is their sole duty to eliminate or be eliminated. And right now, Pummy getting dove on in the back line. Gonna learn the hard way that fighting a Wrecking Ball can be a difficult task, but still might be able to find the Elim. The adaptive shields will not do enough. Takes down Bastion Main early, and that's going to be a huge opening, but unfortunately, you've lost anyhow. You've got a spawn advantage, but Wrecking Ball's speed versus anyhow's, distance to travel, it's going to be tough. Now, here comes that 1v1 I wanted, but no! Goob! Goob takes it away, but still, that's a huge elim in favor of DK Fan Club. Defense fumbled a little bit. They moved back a little further than I wanted, but it looks like they're finally able to stabilize.
Yeah, this is a good place for them to be because the stairs just provide so much nice cover. They can also avoid those Widow sightlines a little bit. There's basically two places, either left or right. So you're going to have a pretty good idea where to look for it if you're Fatfish. But I don't even know if they're trying to look for that right now because G-Force, they're getting stuck in a room.
I mean, right now, it feels so similar to Oasis City Center, where DK Fan Club, it does not feel like they're trying to win a full 6v6 fight. They're just looking for elims. They find one elim, and the rest begin to fall like dominoes. We saw Pummy go down. We saw Ultima West go down a moment ago. Oh my goodness, Blink, and you miss it. A triple kill traded out. Anyhow finds Ahi. Can that be enough for this team to finally stabilize against G-Force? Doing a great job, and can they continue to do so? DK, no way. Oh. Anyhow's got to be upset about that one.
No one can.
The healing was there, and so was the rest of the team. Like you said, I agree with you, actually. I do think that's kind of like the whole, we are just going to find one elimination and then run it as a team. But every time they find that elimination, it is so clean that they immediately can just swarm on the G-Force and take them down. And there it is. Also, what's gone? I don't think they're really close enough to go for that huge engagement right now, but they could. The opening is there.
Absolutely, the opening is available. The window has been opened. Now it is just their duty to go ahead and dive right through it. Get Fan Club going quick. There's Gravitic Flux, only able to find one. Brings out the Transcendence, and oh, he goes down before he hits the ground. That's going to be unfortunate. And luckily enough, the trade out Sigma down on both sides. It's up to the Wrecking Balls to try and save the day. Bastion Main already taken down. This could spell disaster for TK Fan Club here, Jack, but right side, the cart's far enough back. I think they've got at least one more fight.
Oh yeah, but they lose. Fatfish immediately gets pressured out by a lot of members coming their way. Pummy's actually gone to the Somber, not gonna even worry about this duel anymore. Just says, I'm gonna uncloak behind you and murk you in your dreams. There's ultimates. There's gonna be the rally. Angel. Like, I'm wondering if Anyhow's gonna bring out this flux. Maybe they don't even need it.
I would like to see them hold on to it. It looks like they might be able to win the fight without it, but now as that minefield comes out, maybe I've changed my tune a little bit. Anyhow, brings out that Gravitic Flux. How many can they take up? How many can they bring down? Unfortunately, it's going to find a goose egg of a 0. It looks like this is tilting more and more in favor of the DK fan club. Ultima Wet finds 2. Can you find 3? Unfortunately taken out by your counterpart. Crackspoon finds that Tracer. 50 seconds left. 1 ultimate, nearly 2. If that EMP comes out, Jag, that could be the win condition for GeForce here.
Just like there's no transcendence, no rally that could be used before it lands to cancel it out, essentially. There's nothing for DK Fan Club except for maybe a pulse bomb. Pummy looking for that positioning. Oh, Mike gets caught, it gets detected, but does not get uncloaked. But in the meantime, they lose Madero.
We're playing a horror game over here. Madero goes down early. That is devastating. Oh, Bastard Maid has had enough. It's the tank line for DK Fan Club getting ready to seal the deal. And I'd love to say, oh, haha, funny back cap, but I don't think the cart is close enough, unfortunately. She can try, but I think that would just get her, stalled out.
I mean, there's at least a recontest, right? There's definitely going to be Pummy recontesting. You can see them on high ground waiting for the movement. They're going to touch. Actually, they're not. They're going to let Ultimate Web touch. They get it. The EMP comes through, but where's the follow-up?
Absolutely none, Jag. And that is one of my biggest pet peeves of watching Sombra players. It's very difficult to see a successful EMP and then little to no follow-up. It's a bummer because that came out too early, but at the same time, due to the fact there were 2 seconds left, it came out the only time it really could. Just an unfortunate series of events coming through. Pummy might be able to finally turn things around as Astro's minefield clears the space just long enough. And GeForce, they are not going down quite yet. They're looking to go out with a bang instead of a whimper. And that's 2.5 extra minutes may help them do just that.
It got so dire and desperate. It looked like maybe the full hold would come out for DK Fan Club in their hopes of taking us to a map 3 skyrocket, but all of a sudden those doors are dashed. Sure, the EMP does not work out how they intend, but I think the biggest thing is DK Fan Club gets confused. They have to look behind and also like in front of them, like on the car and also on the spawn. So they get turned around, they don't know where to go, they don't really know who to focus down. And I think honestly Pummy played that just as well as you could. Realizes the EMP is going to be worthless after they lose their Zenyatta, just holds on to it. Just waits.
Oh! Well,
nice Helix rocket.
those are some pretty good Helix rockets, if I do say so myself. Gonna get traded out for Fatfish here. Pummy and Fatfish gonna be traded respectively. Gravitic Flux down deep for Ahi. Unfortunately, no Elim, but it looks like a lot of damage to be dealt afterward. Adaptive shields may not be enough to save Astro there, but instead, drops onto the Mega, still lives to tell the tale.
Yeah, hey, I mean, it looks like Angelic right now is stuck away from their team. They got solo Gravitic Flux. They finally do fall, but they had a rally that could have changed things around. Self-destruct now. Self-destruct. Nope, not going to shut down the visor. And this visor from Fatfish looking real good. Might even be able to catch the recall. It doesn't look like they get the Sombra out, but nice holds here. I think this is really important because now they can sit up on this high ground. They have the Soldier, which is like medium range to long range. They have the shield they can play behind with the Sigma. Also the Zen. So there's just so much long range potential they can hold on this high ground, kind of avoid the fight on the cart. They gotta make sure though that Goob does not get hit by this EMP.
That's exactly what I was just thinking about. I was sitting here and I was like, what's the worst possible thing that could happen? And that would be Goob taken down by an EMP. With their positioning, it would also hit the Soldier, but it looks like a couple ults aren't going to get the value they wanted. Goob is deleted from this realm of existence, and then we saw the pulse bomb was eaten. Is that going to be enough for GeForce to continue this aggression? Bastion Main finds one. It looks like Pummy going to be able to find another. Currently a 5v4 in favor of GeForce. Pummy, I love the translocate. They're trying to take that Wrecking Ball down as quickly as possible. Not quite able to do so. 14 seconds left. Yeah, we need this action to happen. We need to see them come through, or this is going to be a solid cart just shy of second point here on Junker Town.
Oh, I think Pummy's going to be caught out here.
Oh, no!
Yep, I knew that was going to happen. They were without their translocator, no way to get out. Both teams have transcendences, but only one team has mines. Actually, Astrax already used them. Pulse bomb, it misses.
Oh no, both pulse bombs gonna be pretty. Or excuse me, there was only one there. Ultima used that pulse bomb, was not super successful, and it looks like GeForce still able to claw back from the jaws of defeat. 2 turns to 3, but Fatfish on the high ground completely uncontested, takes on 3, finds a 4th. Blink and you miss it. It is up to Fatfish to save the day. Absolutely phenomenal job. Fatfish, that play, that success here for DK Fan Club on Junkertown. They're gonna be able to stall out just shy of that second point.
That was 5 eliminations, 3 of them from the visor, 2 of them just to make sure the cart could not be contested anymore. And Fatfish just took destiny into their own hands, this Soldier pick. It reminds me, of the last map, or the last series. We saw the Cassidy come out. Second point, here it's the Soldier 76. The legs, they were locked in. They were flying through that. And on the kill feed quite often. What a great decision. Made it not the last possible moment, but before it gets too late. I mean, DK Fan Club in a great position to extend this series and go to that map 3.
Yeah, it is very real. It is just over the horizon. They need to move that cart 82.82 meters. We saw this exact scenario in our previous matchup, the Ducks and the Swarm. The Swarm were able to seal the deal and win the game. Can DK Fan Club do just that? Now, Jag, I'm going to change my tune. I'm going to play a whole different instrument here. I do not think the Widow 1v1 is the way to go. Is it entertaining for me as a caster? Absolutely. Do I think it is the best strategical choice for either of these teams? I truly do not. I want to see those legs back. I want to see that Sombra back because both those players really got to shine on those roles.
I'm going to say this. I think Fatfish and the Widow makes sense because I feel like these sight lines work really well in the first point. As an attacker, you kind of have more vantage points you can hide in. I do agree, though. I would like to see Pummy stay on the Sombra. And I think the thing is, like, yeah, sure, if it doesn't work after a minute and a half or so, you can go to the Soldier. I just don't think it's as effective here. I think Soldier makes much more sense on the second point overall because the high ground is a lot more accessible for you. You don't have, any way to really get up there. You don't have any upward mobility. You only have the legs, but look at Widow. Widow can just do this. Can just go all the way around the side.
So dramatic. You can go up and over. I love the taste of death to jump over the void. It's always so funny. The Tracer did it. The Widow did it. We see it all the time. Always. Oh, it never fails to make me giggle. Truly, a very close headshot there, but unfortunately not going to be able to find the shot they were looking for. I think the best real strategic opportunity here would be for either Wrecking Ball to just dive on either Widow. Even if you don't kill her, if you just pull her attention, like that's the way to get the job done. I truly do believe so. Just like that, Astro finds Fatfish early anyhow. Going to be losing that next. So things looking a little bit bleak on either side. The next Elam going to really seal the deal in favor of either team. Next one going in quick, but it's Bastion Main who takes down that Pilot Diva anyhow. Sent back to spawn early on.
Yeah, I think at some point, anyhow, might have to go for the mirror match and go for the Sigma instead of the Diva. Just having that better sustainability and protection for your backline can really help, but who needs to protect your backline when, they're just DPS in their own right?
Seems like they can protect themselves. They don't need no knight in shining armor. They've got this all lock-in key. The support's doing a phenomenal job from G-Force, healing when they need to, but dealing damage, especially when they need to. And it's life or death. They are almost always the ones come on top of that fight. A stabilization coming through once again. 2 eliminations now in favor of G-Force. Looks like we may get a couple more, but instead of Crackspoon takes down Angelic early. Brig falling is very scary because now that Zen is wide open. He's got nobody to peel for him.
Alone, no hand to hold, no one to protect them. It can be a very cruel world sometimes, can't accept Lince. And it's also cruel, these Widowmaker duels not happening more often. I want to see more of them. Oh, the boop. I was thinking maybe they go out the side, but no. I mean, this is just a very back and forth first round of attacking, I must say. Like, both Transcendences being used within a few seconds of each other. Fatfish, okay, that was insane. And how they might be going for more is they do have the infra sight, so they have information of where everyone is.
One of my favorite ultimates in the game. Absolutely no secrets left on the battlefield here, Jagged. There's going to be all 12 players revealed, tried and true. Baxman finds one. Astro and Bastion going to get a couple trades of their own, and the minefield is at the ready with 101 seconds left on the clock. Can DK Fan Club crack through this a little bit earlier than G-Force was able to?
Just a little bit quicker. I mean, there's still a contest, so we'll see how this goes. It does look like G-Force actually might be turning this around. They're getting the healing on the Wrecking Ball, and they're coming back from spawn, so somehow, some way, they are going to hold on to this. That first point was not captured. That is very unfortunate for DK Fan Club. They get, maybe just a few more moments on the cart without being contested. They probably have it. They got their time bank getting a little bit more in it. Instead, they do have ultimates. They don't have a lot of room to work with.
Not a lot of ultimates to work with at all, and not a lot of time to work with either. Minute left on the clock, and okay, by golly, Jeff, you've got everybody pressing Q. Somebody in chat just said, hey, remember you've got your ultimates, and they all said, oh, right, they all press Q at the same time. 4 ultimates come out, and they do not find nearly as much value as you'd expect. A phenomenal shot from Pummy to seal the deal up against DK Fan Club. Once again, 44 seconds left on the clock, and G-Force are danger close to being able to win this out 2-0.
So every time we mention Pummy and saying, oh, maybe this is the best hero choice, they're like, all right, casters, we're going to show you who's stupid here. It's going to be you guys. Exactly. The Widow plays there from the back, just immediately helping clean that fight up. And it was very close. DK Fan Club used 4 ultimates on engagement. They got, like, what, 1 elimination, 2 eliminations?
I think 1.
Yeah. And
already better success here.
Yep.
Oh man, Goob goes down quick. Green Bean not far behind. And Jack, there's no way you win a fight with 10 seconds left on the clock and your supports are gone. Batfish hits a cool clip, but at the cost of all 5 of their teammates. 5 seconds left on the clock, and it is going to spell disaster here for the DK fan club. Batfish taken down, nobody able to touch. And just like that, folks, blink and you miss it. A 2-0 victory. GeForce, they've secured their spot in grand finals.
Yep, it was not the same result. It was not a 2-1, but the third time was still not the charm for DK Fan Club. They played G4 so closely, so well. Honestly, a pretty good job in this series as well. I think, you know, you're seeing some of the follies of the first to 2 format here, where, sure, there's a lot more pressure, the maps are a lot more important. But imagine if we go to map 3 guaranteed, I bet we could see some sort of comeback, some sort of way back into this, but it's not meant to be, not in this timeline that we live in. Only best of 5 we're getting is in that grand finals tomorrow, so GeForce, congratulations. Get that 3rd victory over TK Fan Club, and you're the first team to secure that spot in the grand finals, which means, Sentinels, we're already down to our last match of the day. Our last semifinal is going to be coming up after this. But before we get to that, I mean, I think we got to talk about GeForce a little bit more and just how good they looked here. Even though there were some touch and go moments, even though there were some questionable hero choices, it always seems to come together for them, doesn't it?
It really, truly does. I mean, it's incredible how in the final moments, what I always call the swan songs of Overwatch, this team, we saw them 99-0 successfully go turn the map, and not only win that stage, but then the following to 2-0 on Oasis. I mean, that is just, it is breathtaking. It truly is an incredibly difficult feat for GeForce. They come out, they give us a technical fold hold on Junkertown, and it is just, we said at the beginning of the series, I'll say it again, this is the team statistically expected to win it all, and they are 1 series away from being able to do just that.
Absolutely. I mean, they already won one latency event, and why not 2? I mean, add it to the
Let's
trophy
double it.
case that they are slowly starting to build up for themselves. But with that being said, I do believe we have another match almost ready to go. We're going to see another instance of the Swarm, who won our first matchup of the day. I believe they are going to be going up against a team we have not seen at all yet, the T3 Money Getters. So that's going to be our next and last series of the day. Don't go anywhere, folks. We'll be having that in just a few moments.
our sponsors. And hold on, I physically cannot see without these on. I'm faking it 95% of the time, but I cannot fake it for the ad read. So a big shout out to dude.gg, which is a social network for gamers to connect with other gamers, an easy, simple method of gamer profile discovery, instant messaging. It's really a fantastic application. That's the word I'm trying to use. It's developed by gamers, so they know what they're doing. They're making it for people they understand. They are the people they are making it for, after all, to serve the purpose as an all-in ultimate hub network gamer location, if you'd like to call it that. From detail-oriented gamer profile discovery to content creation and networking through the messaging system, gamers can utilize and take advantage of the platform's full functionality and indulge in an unmatchable user experience that caters gamers' every need. And that is dude, DOOD.GG.
You know, as an Overwatch League social media manager myself, I must say that I love learning about all these social media platforms, as well as some social media tools like Claim Your Fame, which is a social media tool which helps gamers, streamers, and content creators enhance their brand by showcasing all social media pages to one profile to help connect gamers and entertainers to teams and sponsors alike. Claim Your Fame will also be a tool for people interested in getting started in esports, streaming, and content creation. And to learn more, go to claim2fameentertainment.com/claimyourfame.
Yeah, and that while they are called Claim Your Fame, the beginning of the link is Claim to Fame Entertainment/Claim Your Fame. It's a little confusing, but hopefully one of our mods can drop that in chat for you guys. And then, of course, who could forget Natter? The answer is definitely nobody. We know Natter. We love Natter. And if you're interested in getting better at competitive Overwatch, check out Natter on Twitch and YouTube. If you really want to take your skills to the next level, DM him on Discord. He has given us the Discord. Natter #0640, which is weird. Those are the same four numbers mine has in a different order. And ask about the coaching sessions. Like I said, we know Natter, we love Natter, and we could not have done this without Natter. So big shout out to them, as well as Claim Your Fame and dude.gg. We appreciate and love all of you. And all right, Jag, now the ads, we've done them. And we've run out of things to talk about other than the teams, other than the players. We're jumping in. We know one of these teams very well. Now, the other, I've got to be 100% honest, T3 Money Getters, not a team I am familiar with.
Yeah, I mean, they've had a pretty good run so far. Coming in as a number 2 seed, I feel like that is kind of just already already saying that like they are probably the team that GeForce is going to end up facing. But we had all the top 4 teams in the top 4, so you never know. There could always be an upset. I do think there are some familiar faces on there. I think they have. Look at the names.
I know a few of these.
Yeah,
I should have looked at that before I
was going to say there are a few names in here that we are pretty familiar with, but it's like kind of one of those pug teams. You know, it's one of those teams that's put together for a tournament like this. So you know, we're not sure exactly how much synergy we're going to be expecting. We're not sure how put together everything is going to be. What we do know is we're going to have one hell of a final series here today, and we're going to see how this goes. We've already seen Swarm look very good on the Wrecking Ball comp. We've seen a lot of kind of flexibility from them. We've seen Punks do some amazing things. T3 Money Getters, what are they going to do here?
They're doing something, Jag. I'm hesitant to believe that this is real, like real content. I think we're trying to get something figured out. This may be the wrong map, but if the players are down to play it, I think it doesn't matter that much. If they're down to run Oasis, and it's fine by us. We're gonna be seeing if it's coming through here. And now, oh, it's I understand. This is still a semifinals. We're doing the same map. Okay, my fault, everybody. I'm lying to you. Anyway, TG Money Getters, they're running Moira. That's weird. Jag, why don't you talk about that a little bit?
I mean, you usually run this with like a Ryan comp or a Winston comp. It's a lot of AoE healing, a lot of playing together. If you don't do it, you usually have a Wrecking Ball, because the Wrecking Ball usually plays so spread out, but maybe they play a bit more defensively, a bit more turtled. I mean, I'm trying to understand more of the Junkrat than anything else. Like, I'm trying to see where the Junkrat fits into all of this. A lot of spam damage, but not a lot of great angles for it. And I mean, already, yeah, just devoured.
Garchomp just obliterated. I love Junkrat, Jag. You know that. Anybody that's ever seen the cast knows that, but I have to agree with you. It is a weird thing to bring out right here. It looks like it's working at least a little well. They're already over halfway to the Rip Tire. If they can find a confirmation onto the Tracer just like that, taking Smo out of the organization there is going to help out very well. Traplock finds one, Knight finds another, and while the comp for T3 Money Getters may be a little bit funky, it looks like it's working pretty darn well.
Maybe they're just confusing everyone, including their opponents, and you know, sometimes just having those mind games of like, how do they run this? They just go for the individual skill kind of style, where they just you know, getting those 1v1 wins. It doesn't matter if the team comp doesn't work together. The team comp, you're winning fights, you're holding on to the point. That's all that really matters. And they're gonna have so many ultimates here too. I mean, look at it. It's literally everything except for self-destruct they have coming into this fight.
And that's a pretty easy farmable ultimate. If you get all those rock AT boosts towards somebody, you can charge that pretty darn quick. But honestly, with 5 at the ready, they probably won't need it. Unfortunately, Traplock does not get the opportunity to pull that tire. Here comes a Death Blossom to boot, finds one. And now the Minefield from Li. I love the attempt here to make a little bit of space and find a little bit of damage. Spite, gone, point, gone. All full supports taken off the table in the blink of an eye. Knight to find the immediate elimination on the Chronicler, and the Diva Max is going to be gone. Sniper Man down to that pilot. Not going to be able to make it out with their life.
Their tire's coming from somewhere. I'm not sure if it ever
Spawn,
landed,
I think.
but from spawn, yeah, I don't know what happened to it. I think it's just gone. It might have just timed out, honestly, and
Maybe
it's a
they
very
tried to go up and
drawn-out
over.
fight. Oh, okay. Maybe he just fell into the. Maybe he just took a little swim. Regardless, it's a very long fight. It's Swarm that ends up coming out on top, but they use so much to get it done. And T3 Money Getters, they stall for so long. They stay alive on that point for so long. They get to 65%.
65%, Jag. That's like 1.5 fights away. If we're talking out of a pure kind of statistical kind of opportunity, it would be probably about a fight and a half before the team could be able to win this engagement. Traplock taking out that Wrecking Ball early on. Not the most impactful Elim to find, but a good Elim nonetheless. Point gonna drop the beat in a kind of a funky moment, but it looks like it's gonna work out pretty well for the team, keeping them alive, forcing out Transcendence from Brazel as well. Now the Minefield from Torchop, taking a little bit of space on point. No Tranks to eat that. That's just free damage if anybody chooses to jump right onto that point. Garchomp gonna be able to find Maz as they fall off the high ground. Now the Zenyatta gonna be forced down. They know nobody's to peel. It's the Portal Combat, and Brazel is the one coming out on top. Echo gonna be able to find
Absolutely dominating there. That's establishing yourself, right?
That's dominance. That's dominance.
Winning those fights is not easy. I'm a Zenyatta main, and I must say myself, like, it's very easy just to get nervous in those moments when someone runs up on you, and Brazel just says, you know what, I'll do it myself. Don't worry about it. I mean, the one thing is, again, P3 Money Getters, they do cap the point, so they get another 17%, which means they are now officially in basically last fight territory if they win another one.
Right.
So they're getting objective time. They're doing the right thing to win the map, but they're not finishing out fights clean enough where they can hold on to it.
It's like, hey, if we're getting 30% for every 15 they get, eventually we'll win, right? But like you said, a very messy way to clean things up. It's going to be Chronicler able to find, or going to get eliminated. Smo's bomb not going to be able to find much progress. Traplock, the first Elim to go down, though. A lot of impactful plays, but none of them were Elims. Smo going in quick, looking for the Wrecking Ball. Might be able to find it, and will, with the help of a little bit of teammates here. Knight, though. Oh, Jack, that is the second time that Death Blossom is taking down both supports.
This Death Blossom has been large and in charge, and again, like, the DPS, it doesn't make sense to me, but it's working. Both Traplock and Knight playing heroes usually would not play by Wrecking Ball as well as a Diva. It's like you're seeing a bit of, you know, more of a bunker comp, more of a brawl comp, all mixed together. And all of these pieces, you know, you put it together like Frankenstein's monster, and it might just equal a map win. As now, Swarm, they're going to have to answer that. They're going to make it to the point, I believe, with the rally in tow. They only have a Transcendence after that.
Transcendence has got to be huge beyond belief. It has to be absolutely massive. The Riptire coming out quick. Maybe this one's a little more successful. And seeing this kind of tech makes me think it was supposed to go up and over earlier. Wasn't able to get there in time, but Smo going down is a huge elimination in favor of the G3 Money Getters. Garchomp going to be eliminated early on. So it's going to be a 5-5. The next Elim could be the most crucial, and it looks like nobody's able to secure it quite yet. Traplock forced into the mini room, trying to survive long enough to help the team engage in point. Will bite the bullet, but look at that, Jag! At the exact same moment, Maz is taken down.
Yeah, there's no supports now.
No supports available at all. The Echo going to be able to find the Reaper. Here comes a bomb and a desperate attempt from Sniper Man to clear the point. 3v2, and Sniper Man does not get to remech. Finds the D-Mech, forces out a Pilot Diva from Chronicler.
Duplicate.
It's so messy.
Duplicate's so close. They need to stay alive, Punks. You gotta find a health pack. You can't do it. Smo's back. They get the stick, but they are able to get out of it. They use the fade. That's not the person you want to stick. You'd never want to go for the Moira because they always have an escape card. But the point is flipped. In the meantime, everyone is dead. The bodies are hitting the floor. There's gonna be the Blossom, but it's eaten by the Matrix. The Coalescence on top, and somehow T3 Money Getters, they are not letting this point go.
This is one of the sloppiest fights I've ever seen, and somehow T3 are finding themselves on top. Traplock finds one, Traplock finds two. Knight gonna be eliminated, gonna find some eliminations as well, and my goodness, Punk's gonna fall once again. Jag, I absolutely insane. What a performance here. There's no way Swarm can turn that around. And I want to talk about something straight away. It's really interesting. We've been analyzing the team comp from T3 Money Getters, but there's something that you'll hear from community events all the way up and through Overwatch League. Teams would rather play what they're comfortable with than play the meta, right? And I feel like we're seeing that tried and true right now from the T3 Money Getters.
One thing that jumped up into me last year when I was with the Houston Outlaws is that they're always going to play what they practice.
Exactly.
That's also, it's kind of like, what are you practicing? You know, like that's going to be meta comps. But here again, like when you've got more of a pug style pickup team, it's going to be a lot of just comfort picks, like you said. It's going to be a lot of, all right, I like this, we're going to run this, because it's just easier when you don't have that much time to really get everything together. And it's working. That first round, very back and forth, very all over the place, but they still get it done. Now they're going to double shield. Swarm is running Brawl. I feel like Swarm should actually have an advantage here because generally, if you're running a Rhino, you can just kind of run through both shields and avoid them, or even just Maywall, you know, someone else and isolate them. I really like the comp that Swarm has.
Knight finds an Elim in the blink of an eye. Off the Reaper, but onto the cast, just as deadly with a whole different kit available. Reinhardt looks like they may fall, but instead gets that left swing onto Garchomp. 85 damage a swing, and that is just enough to send that horse back to the glue factory. Spite eliminated in the blink of an eye as well. And Punks on the May, 70% to a Blizzard already.
Yeah, Wall just freezing. It's getting so much done right now in that Blizzard very close by. Already have an Ant Matrix to work with, 2 Spites, not even at 70% yet. So they could just pop this sucker right here, maybe get some space, maybe get some kills off it. But, I mean, Swarm, they keep losing someone early on. I've noticed that.
It's so similar to what we've seen 100 times today. It's not winning the fight 6v6. It's taking one person down early enough for your team to stabilize, and that really does seem to be the playstyle both these teams love to lean towards. Sniperman finds one. Look at the kill feed, back and forth. I mean, it's just never 2 eliminations in favor of the same team. The wall directly into the Blizzard, but point finding Chronicler. Blizzard's a weird one. Forces out the Rip Tire here from Traplock if they're able to find anything. Wow, what? Was that a no-reg?
I'm not sure what I just saw. Yeah, I don't know. We're just gonna keep moving on. I mean, I think they were absorbing it. I think they were using their grass, and that's why it was like eaten up, basically.
It was frozen! All right, whatever it was unlucky for Punks. That much I'm sure of. Knight able to find them with that high noon as well, and it looks like T3 Money Getters are just trying to storm their way onto point, but as a flank from Smo in the back line takes down that Bap. Knight with the counter kill, but the damage, I'm afraid, they have already been done. That Baptiste going down is going to force out the beat on both sides, and oh my goodness, Knight is just cleaning house, Tag. That's going to be a 4K already. This Cowboy's rooting tootin', and you bet your bottom dollar that he is ready for shoot.
Saying nice. Everyone left on the field for Swarm, and you know it hasn't been clean for Swarm to get to 64%, but they've done it. But now T3 Money Getters finally get something going here. But again, costly sound barrier, Ant Matrix, as well as the bongos from Orisa, the supercharger. So a lot there they have to invest just to get onto this point, and they don't have anything really to back it up yet. I'd love to see this tire come on really quickly. They'll have to get rid of the immortality field, or I guess they'll just spray and pray. And again, like Smo has been, I think, the first elimination in fights 2 or 3 times now?
Yeah, that's at least 2 in a row. There may have been a third. You may be right about that, but that is at least 2 in a row. Smo has been taken down so early that it forces the Swarm into a 5v6. Then you're stuck in a really funky spot. Do we risk it? Do we go out and try to find an Elim, tie things up? Or do we, for free, give them at least 20%? It is a very scary consideration. Smo brings out the high noon early, but it's Traplock's tire that finds an Elim first. We've got the 1-1 tank trade, and Smo finally coming back to life here. The man is able to find a double kill. Takes down the immortality field as well. Can he turn 2 into 3? And it looks like he can. Spite gonna fall as well. Traplock 2 and damage below. Smo doing damage above. Which DPS player is gonna win out? Which one's gonna find a little bit more of those eliminations when they need to? Take the Swarm, find themselves on top, and they take a lead here in the percent.
As the Traplock does not get away from that, so they get another 10% on top of all of this before the respawn comes through. I mean, that was some incredible play from Traplock. I think that. So. Did you see also the synergy they had there?
Yes.
With their Orisa, with the pull? That was like they pulled
That's
them
hard
into
to
a
pull
mine.
off.
That is, yeah, like no pun intended. That is hard to pull off with the pull.
No, Septilin's certified Junkrat player here. That is a very hard thing to do well, because the mines have a mind of their own. They bounce around, they ricochet. To do it directly into an Orisa pull is a very difficult thing, and I really do want to commend that. But now, I've got to commend that Earth Shatter. Puts down 2, and it looks like both of them going to be able to get back up. Poor Kim forced right back into a corner, and Sniperman confirms that kill. Garchomp finds one of their own, and Jag at 99%. Looks like the Swarm are going to get scattered once again. T3 Money Getters, they've got that Flash Swatter out, and they're ready to use it as many times as they have.
Although there were ultimates used there by the side of T3 Money Getters, they still have the Deadeye, they still have Supercharger, so they've got a lot of damage they can put out Swarm. They've got a sound barrier, but it's not a given they can get it off in time. We've seen a few beats today get canceled actually by Deadeyes, and they're gonna use it right now. And there it is, no sound barrier.
Oh, I mean, that is the elim to get with that. that is the best case scenario to pop behind Noon right there and find the Lucio. Now Riptire has to be huge, and hey, an elim on Maz may be big enough. Smoke comes around the corner, takes down Trap Block. Swarm are fighting their absolute hearts out, tooth and nail till the bitter end. They flip to the point. Can they hold on to it? The Waffle Iron has been flipped. Who will this Waffle get burned at the end of the day? Coming in quick with the left shift. They take down the Sigma. They take down the Cassidy, and it looks like the Swarm are getting ready to force us all the way to that third and final stage of Oasis. But it's not over quite yet. We've got 3 more back on stage. The Shadow comes through, takes down the Orisa, and that Force is getting ready to walk right back to the Glue Factory. Now a Blizzard from Punks is enough to finally seal the deal. That's going to be 1-1 on Oasis.
This has been absolute just like
Chaos.
chaos incarnate,
Chaos.
right? Like exactly. That is the one word I'd use to describe this. That was just all over the place. The fact that the Lucio gets back from Swarm in time, the fact that Brazel is able to like just bounce off the wall to get back to that fight, like it seemed like they were dead and all of a sudden they were back like 5 seconds later for that sound barrier, that countered point sound barrier. But there were more people there for Swarm, so that is more effective. There's more temporary shields going out, which means more sustain, more abilities to fight back, and then everyone just built up their ultimate in time. You saw the Mei Blizzard come out, you saw the Earth Shatter. I mean, everything seemed to work in harmony to help them secure that last point. So for the first time here, today we're going to see Oasis for the last point of Oasis. That's what I was trying to say. We'll see what can happen here. Yeah, last time it was only 2-0, so we did see, like, we saw all points of Lee Jong. That's probably what you're thinking of.
Yeah, so we saw, okay, I'm back, everybody, and it looks like I'm back just in time for Spike to not be taken down very early on. Maybe that Zenyatta taken off. I mean, the Discord is gone, the Harmony is gone, a lot of damage is taken off the side of T3 Money Getters, but they have won worse fights than this, so I'd be really curious to see if this is a real fight with the Swarm, or if T3 is just kind of biding their time, waiting for their opportunity to strike.
I think right now they're just gonna at least go back, leave their wounds. Again, like, Junkrat gonna be very hard to run here. I think this is actually gonna be the hardest point to run Junkrat, unless you can get, like, if you can get high ground, if you can, like, get on this, like, center pillar, that's actually huge for you. I mean, you will have to deal with this Echo, but there you got Knight. Yeah, just have Knight take care of them.
Yeah, Knight's like, I got that part, you do the rest. Knight takes down the Echo, gonna be a huge opportunity for Trap Black to jump in. And
Yeah,
Jack, the space we're in right here is where Trap Black is gonna get the most value. That tight little area next to the cars, next to the Mega, that's where the grenades can bounce off of everything. When you get out onto the point, that's where things get scary. To make this Junkrat actually worth it, you need to be playing up close. You need to be playing in the corridors, because the open point with nowhere for the grenades to find purchase, Junkrat becomes very difficult to utilize.
And that's why I like playing on this high ground right here, on the cylinder, because you can just spam into those, like those archways that are much more narrow. The grenades can bounce off each other. I mean, the other thing is just force them into a corner like they just did. They forced them into the best possible scenario where everyone's just kind of in this one confided space. So
Visor already.
wow, that's impressive.
That really is. I mean, a fight of 1.25 fights, and you've got a Visor on.
Oh.
No way we got the spectate on that. Oh.
That was beautiful.
I don't even care about this fight. It's already over. That is, the timing on that could not have been better. That is amazing.
I don't even know if that's Cyberman's fault. They were in the middle of the casting. Yeah, they were casting that accretion after they got bumped off the ledge. Yeah, they got bumped off the ledge and they just threw it right into a wall. That is, I mean, at that point, honestly, but here, think about this. Yeah, it looks embarrassing, but you're actually not giving up alt chart. Think about that way.
That's true. You got.
That's actually the biggest brain. Like, that's basically the same as running into traffic, right? Like,
it was
being hit by a car. It was on purpose, chat. Don't worry about it.
Chat, it was on purpose. I swear. Oh my god, that was so funny. Okay, back to the fight. Things are looking really good so far for the Swarm. They had a huge opportunity to get in. I thought we saw a Gravitic Clutch for just a moment there, but nobody's going to be able to do much damage from T3 Money Getters off the back of that. Instead of the Trap Block, who finds that first elimination out of the Zenyatta. Again, a repeat of our first fight, but this time flipped on its head. It's not Spike that goes down, but the opposing Zenyatta. It takes out Punks early on, looking at a 64 in favor of the T3 Money Getters. And the opportunity to strike is just getting larger and larger. The window has not been opened. It has been blown right through. They are just going to dive directly into this fight. 90% all ready for the Swarm. T3 Money Getters finally reestablishing some fight here on point.
Yeah, it took them a while, but finally able to get back into the swing of things. I love that play from Traplock too, just like
Agreed.
waiting for the Wrecking Ball to run through, having that trap ready to go, and then immediately just like trying to get them as weak as possible. Just very good patience and kind of understanding of the rotations that Swarm was trying to make. Good news for Swarm though is even, you know, with that fight loss, like they have self-destruct, they have pulse bomb. There's a lot of ways they can win this fight very quickly and cleanly. I think the pulse bomb is the first, like the big one. Like try to catch out the Brigitte or the Zenyatta, or even just force out Transcendence. Like if you can get Spike to use it because you stick them, that's a huge win.
Oh, without a doubt, yeah. I mean, you completely put Transcendence in the garbage can. That would be a really difficult opportunity for the team to follow up on. Now, there's a Diva Bomb that is going to force out Transcendence and still won't be able to save Traplock. Already the Swarm looking great here entering this fight. They've got a one-player advantage over the T3 Money Getters. Coming in, Knight is just desperate, trying to get away from this Tracer and gets collapsed on in the corner. Mass takes them down. The Sniper Man to try and save the day. But I mean, this is just becoming harder and harder. I think we're looking at a 64, even with respawn advantage. It's going to be a very difficult engagement for either team to win. The minefield comes out. Can it do enough? Garchomp gets traded for Cam. That is hilarious, actually, that the mines find each other in tandem just like that. Garchomp with the double kill does a lot, but still cannot do enough. Finds the D-Mech. Are you kidding? That's a 2.5K. That's just enough for the T3 Money Getters to win the fight.
Yeah, and they get the point back. So one thing that was kind of worrisome is the entire time Swarm did not have control of that point. They were up in numbers, but they never capped. They kept trying to actually just get the eliminations. Now this could be a Flux 9. Just use it. Okay, maybe not yet. That misses the accretion, but keeps it for the next possible contest. I mean, the T3 Money Getters, something could go horribly wrong for them to lose this engagement.
Yeah, I mean, I have to agree with you there. No ultimates are going to make it in time, especially as Maz, the closest one to the ult, goes down tied for first. Garchomp takes out the Echo. It's going to be a 5v3 in favor of T3 Money Getters and Jag. I mean, talk about close. This is as close could be. 2 maps in a row, basically 99 to 99, and T3 Money Getters looks like they're going to make it out by the skin of their teeth. Diva goes up. She does not come back down in time, and the T3 Money Getters win out Oasis. They are now 1 map away from securing a spot against GeForce in Grand Finals.
Here's the big thing I gotta say, like I was just mentioning it, but this really seems like it could have been Swarm's map. I really think they dropped the ball because they did not go for the point take. They did not clean up those that were on the point. They were on the outside. They were near bounce house. They were near the jump pad, like trying to win the fight out there. And sure, like they do end up getting point possession once more, but they let T3 Money Getters tick it up so much that it got to 90%, and it could have been stopped at like 70 when they were in control of that fight. And that means even if you do eventually lose that engagement, there's still another fight left for you. So that's why it's so important in a game like Overwatch. You have to play the objective. I think a lot of teams sometimes get a little bit too, you know, elimination hungry, a little bit too greedy, as we sometimes describe it, where they go for those eliminations when it really isn't necessary.
Yeah.
And you see things happen like this, where you've got the map in the palm of your hands and you let it slip away.
It's so close and it hurts so bad because we see it so often. I'm going to compare it to collegiate because that's where I spend a majority of my casting, but it's something that we see so often. What you were just talking about there is that moment where a team is more focused on an elim than they are on the point. And it's when it comes down to the game, the eliminations are of course important, but the point is the win condition. And if you can get the point without killing all 6, then I highly encourage you to do so. But that is a mistake we've seen teams make from beta all the way through Overwatch Classic and probably into Overwatch 2. They get a little too eager for that elim, a little too eager for that ult charge, and it has cost at this point, I'm sure, thousands of individual games because somebody gets a little too overzealous. But that map is over. And Jag, I'm very excited because my least favorite thing about Overwatch is when maps kind of repeat themselves. But luckily enough, we have not had much of that today at all. We're going to another unique map. We're going to be jumping over to Rialto.
Yes, we are. That means we could see more double shield potentially. We did see both teams, you know, kind of flex their prowess when it came to these maps. I think it was actually, I believe, tier 3 money getters that were the ones running the double shield at one point. It didn't work out for them on that last map of Oasis. It was on University, but they've a chance to possibly make up for that. I could actually still imagine. I think one comp we don't see like at all anymore that I feel like was really popular at one point was the Rhine Sigma, which is kind of like the best of both worlds. It's a little bit of brawl, a little bit of a bunker comp. It's basically brawl of range. Like the Sigma just kind of throws in his primary fire while the Rhine just continues to push up. And then when the Rhine shield is gone, you can put the Sigma shield out instead. I think it works out great on this map. I think most teams would probably just prefer to sit on the point with an Orisa instead, but you know, you never know what could happen, especially when you are in the, you know, shoes of Swarm right now, who are trying to avoid getting swept. They really want that third map to go potentially to the finals, but it's going to be a lot of work to get there.
It's gonna be, like you said, this is a tall task, as something I always love to say, a Herculean task. I mean, this is gonna be tough. Not only does Swarm have to go through and win this, they then have to go and win a complete and total third map. Now that would be great, 'cause that'd be our first map 3 of the night. That would be super exciting, but it is realistically going to be very difficult. And Jack, looking at the team comp right out the gate, you know, focusing a little more on the defense, how do we think this is gonna go? Kickoff fight, what do we think happens?
I mean, I think the thing is you need your Sigma to stay alive. I think your Ashe is going to be your primary damage dealer. I mean, we've seen Traplock can do crazy things in the Junkrat. Like, I'm not even going to question this pick anymore because they just... I don't think they're going to let off of it. But this Ashe that has a damage boost really has to be the one taking the fight against Punks on this Echo who can frag at times, as well as Smo. So they need to make sure that they keep, like, them healthy as possible. And I'm really surprised, honestly, that Point is not on them. Usually you just want to damage boost them because they can two-tap people.
Yeah, I mean, I always say that a damage-boosted Ashe is better than a damage-boosted Widowmaker, and I truly do believe that. Okay, but it looks like that Ashe doesn't get to do much of anything as Smo flanked up and through the back line. Okay, Resurrection does come through the Mercy, gonna be worth her weight in gold immediately as the fight kicks off. Traplock, I'm wondering if this is a FNAF reference. I'll find that out later, but I can't get the idea out of my head, so maybe it is, maybe it isn't. But I'm worried about Traplock because going against an Echo is really hard. You have the same logic as going against a Pharah. You have to land your projectile quite literally perfect. Like, it has to be directly onto the body or it does absolutely no damage. And then if you miss, you're just pulling the Junkrat's focus in the worst type of way. A great shot from Traplock once again to farm this wrecking ball, but it's not going to be the farm they're looking for. A minute off the clock, Jack. I cannot believe we're already 25% done with this first attack.
Yeah, I mean, you're saying that it's not good for the Echo, and I agree with you 100%, but maybe it's not for the Echo, it's for the Wrecking Ball, it's for the Diva.
Whoa!
It's for the Brigitte. Yeah.
Oh man, what a good cleanup there. I mean, I love Junkrat, we know that, and I'm really impressed that Traplock has been able to make Junk work on a lot of maps that I truly don't think he should. This is something I'm gonna go back and VOD review so I can get better. I mean, I'm gonna watch this and figure out how they made Junkrat work in such unique situations. We've got half the time back almost gone already, Jack, and Swarm, you know, they're getting stuck on a really traditional corner.
Yeah, they just can't find a way to break through this, and I think the Junkrat is tripping them up because the traps, the mines, like, it's a lot of crowd control, just a lot of explosive damage, and then all this time, you have the Sigma, you have the Ashe destroying you from long range. There's so much different ways they're doing damage. The Riptire, it's just too much to deal with at once, and they're not really finding a clean way to enter on.
I can't believe Garchomp is getting so much value out of this Roadhog. He's gotten like 3 just one-shot combos onto Brazel, I think in a row. I don't think Brazel has been allowed to play much of Rialto so far, and this Roadhog is almost entirely due to that, or I guess that's almost entirely due to this Roadhog. Recall already forced out, still finds the Elim onto point. Now that is an Elim worth dying for. Smo still be able to make it out with their tail tucked between their legs. Running quick, can we see TP Money Getter stall this out for 90 more seconds? Get those ults, it feels likely.
Yeah, even though they use the Bob, even though they lose the Mercy, they still have so much to use here. The Mercy could just Valk back, honestly, but instead they go to Flux into the Ant Matrix. And I'm not even sure the Ant Matrix was necessary here.
I mean, that's what I'm thinking.
There's nothing around it.
Yeah, it was weird. It made space, but your team was up by 2 already. Like, I don't think space was needed to be made there. That wasn't a full sentence, but I think you get the point I'm trying to make. I'm not sure that was a necessary ultimate, but perhaps it still works out well for the team. A bomb comes through. Franco takes Garchomp offline, gets rid of that whole hog, and gets rid of quite a lot of damage.
Yeah, but with those final 3 members getting out for the side of T3 Money Getters, I don't think... Yeah, they get out, so there's not going to be like a stagger kind of thing. It's really going to be all of them at once. That map is so low, already using Mortality Field. Thinking maybe that's like your entry pick. Instead, you just get Lamp out for now.
Smo has just lived rent-free in the back line so far. And to be fair, he's not getting as many Elims as I'd like. My golly, is he being annoying. I mean, he is really doing his job on the Tracer. Now it's going to be Punk coming around the other side. We've got a pincer maneuver from the DPS on the side of Swarm, and it looks like it is going to work out at least well enough. They pull focus, they find the Elims, and they find that first point cap. The Ashe taking down Garchomp off the map, and that is going to be 3 minutes left on the clock. The Swarm to try and make that magic happen.
And I thought for sure T3 Money Getters had that first point hold, but instead, just a few misplays. Not great positioning, and also just letting the flanks come out from Swarm. Like Smo, like, you know, I say was doing a lot, but I think Punks is really when he stepped up in that last engagement, just going on the side with those Helix rockets, just, you know, really being a nuisance. It's making T3 Money Getters, like, they don't know what to do.
Oh my god, there's Smo in the back line again. Takes out the Immortality Field, takes out the BAP straight away. Point goes down. Oh my goodness, there's Smo taking out Traplock. Really coming back to life here. That pincer maneuver with Punks really kind of relit the gas. It hit the go button for the Swarm. They're going to be coming in through and quick. Let's see if they're able to cap the second point, Jack. This is where teams almost always get stalled out.
Yeah, and this is great for defense. A lot of natural cover. Also, not too far away from spawn. I would love to see T3 Money just try to take some high ground here, especially with this Ash. Okay, I thought the Bob was going to get stuck there for a second.
No,
Now
that's
he's
his
gonna
own
get stuck in the doorway.
Junkrat strat.
Oh.
That's why I said no when he tried to shoot it, because it belonged to his team. But hey, I love the ambition. If it wasn't his, it would have been great reaction time. Discord Orb takes Bob out pretty early on. We've got 101 seconds left on the clock, and that Ash already going down. Rabbinic Flex has to come out, finds the Zen in the blink of an eye. Immortality goes down as the Wrecking Ball goes deep into the back line, and two players are on the wrong side of the Helix Rocket. Knight and points taken down, point blank. Trap Block finds one, Garchomp finds another, and Jack, even if T3 wins this fight, they just used quite literally every single ultimate they had.
That was literally every single ultimate. You do see some swaps now. Knight gonna go to the Tracer, which I think is the better play at this point, because I like it on first point with the Ash with the long range. If you're not gonna play all the way back as an Ash, there's really no reason to play her, because once she uses her like shotgun jump, she is super vulnerable, super squishy, and just super immobile. So going to the Tracer, the exact opposite of all of that, except a little bit more squishier. But just being able to run around, also like kind of alleviate some of those flank pressure that's coming out from this pincer attempt, challenging the other Tracer. It all makes sense to me.
Yeah, I think all the proper pieces of the puzzle are here. The question is, how well can they be utilized? It really does come down to individual performance at this point. I think Garchomp being on this Roadhog is such a wild card maneuver that's really difficult for a lot of the Swarm to do what they want to. They've constantly got to keep an eye on the Hog. They've got to bait out the hook, and they've got to make sure they don't overextend. Pulse Bomb gonna find absolute squad. They used Immortality Field. I don't think they had to, but it keeps the team alive, and that's all that matters. Now Punk's in a very weird low angle position, looking for anybody with this aimbot. Not able to find much though. Sniper Man goes down. Can that be the go button the Swarm needed to cap that second point? 1.14 meters, 10 seconds left on the clock.
Looks like that is the go button. The members are falling one by one for T3 Money Getters. 2 points at the very last moment for the attackers.
Again!
They get it done. Yeah, literally like 2 seconds, 3 seconds left on the clock, which means you really get 1 or 2 pushes here, because this spawn is one of the farthest in the game. It is so difficult as an attacker to get back to the car, especially once you push it kind of, I would say, underneath the bridge area, once it's like back on top of this hill.
Yeah.
It's so far away.
I mean, just looking at how these maps are built, how these escort maps are built out. And, King's Row is hybrid, but it's another really good example. The closer you get to winning, the harder it is to win, because it takes you so long to get back into the team fight, and that's really something we might see against the Swarm, especially Brazel, Zenyatta, no mobility, really going to take a long time to get back unless the Mercy can find a resurrection mid-fight. We've got Knight, and he is back into the swing. I think Cassie online. He says ye, you say ha. Swarm gonna be going down. Double kill already in favor of T3 Money Getters, and this is a full-blown reset. This is what we were afraid of.
I'm really surprised, honestly, that T3 Money Getters didn't go to this comp sooner, especially on the second point. Would have been great, and they did look good onto the double shield at points, so this makes way more sense than anything else they've ran so far to me. And I want to see them just execute it flawlessly. Swarm still has a bit of time. They need to break down these shields somehow, though, or this self-destruct is not going to get anything, and there's just going to be cover to hide behind.
Oh, now if they use it, they're down a player, but it looks like the trade comes through. For a very brief moment, I thought the Total Mayhem killed that Echo, and I was going to lose my mind, but unfortunately, it was just the Cassidy. A little less exciting. Punks is rezzed right back up in time for Brazel to be taken down once again. As for Zenyatta, this whole map, I feel, has not really been able to play the game, just constantly being taken down as soon as they show their face. Here comes Trap Block all the way from spawn once again. I love it. Nobody looks up in this game, and it's so easy to take advantage of. Maz and Smo going to be taken down early. Trap Block with the double Sniper Man with one of their own, and just like that, Jack Rialto first round has come to a close. The win condition has absolutely been set, and by golly, is it going to be a tough one.
Yeah, T3 Money Getters probably going to be kicking themselves a little bit, because they had so many chances to hold this first point, second point, and I feel like if they made those swaps earlier, they probably would have never had that second point taken away from them. But you can only live and learn, and now they know what they must do to win this map outright, to win this series outright, and go to the grand finals. Swarm, have they done enough to force that map 3? It was a nice rebound after losing a lot of time. Even getting to that point in the map honestly seems so difficult with what little they had coming out of that first point. They did it, and they did it well. So now it comes down to which team can just play better here in this second half on Rialto. And I think if T3 goes back to the double shield, I think they have this in the bag, honestly.
I agree.
I don't know if they're going to do it. I mean, already they're positioning for themselves to be more in that Chaos comp. And what's the counter to Chaos comp? Double shield. I've said this so many times, but the accretion, just like the shield bash, because you usually have a Brigida in this variation of it, and then also on top of that, the pole. Like, there's just so much to do to displace all these flanky, divey characters that are coming at you. I just don't understand. I don't see why more teams don't run it, honestly.
I am worried about trap lock here because I think it's kind of like going sledding. They're going to be walking up the hill, not having a good time, fighting uphill. On points 1 and 2, it's not till that third point you finally get to go down the hill and have a whole lot of fun. Rialto is a very open map, and I think this Junkrat is really going to struggle with that. We're gonna have to wait and see, though. You know, it's only a hypothesis. Trap lock has proven wrong many a time.
I'm just gonna say this. I've seen so many things in trap lock today. I can't doubt them. Like, no matter what they do, I'm just like, yeah, that's gonna work.
You're like, yeah, you know what? I trust him. it'll work. We'll make it happen. Oh, okay. Punks goes down. Finds an Elam on despite early. It looks like point going to fall as well. Supports for T3 gone. You're not winning a fight with no supports online.
No, but you might be able to get some flanks. Maybe hit your TPS right up in the face of everyone, or maybe Tracklock just ends up falling to the DPS end that we know very well from our last few games we've seen them in. I'm getting a little worried. Like, right now, your Wrecking Ball is all the way in the back line. Can you really do anything when they roll back in, if they even get the chance to roll back in?
Let's see if they get the chance to roll back in here. I'm really not sure we're going to see it, at least not for a little while. Spite on the Ana takes down Kim very early on. Point falls once again. This is for Mercy. The only player that can't be rezzed, the only player to go down so far, and it is such an impactful Elam to find. Traplock gets the T-Mech on it chronically. We've got a Pilot Diva running around here somewhere, praying that she does not bite the bullet. Knight traded out for Brazo, and it looks like somehow T3 are still keeping this card rolling. Point again getting spawn camped now.
I think a big part of this is the fact that, like, sure, your Tracer is spawn camping your Mercy, but also that means there's one less person on the cart, and their Diva is still demaxed. Yeah, so a lot less damage, a lot less, you know, defensive abilities.
Oh! HP was a little too high. I thought that was maybe a perfect grenade kill. Oh, now that's a kill.
Brace has been so impressive. Like, no matter how this ends, absolutely been impressive on this Zenyatta.
Brace has been going absolutely insane. Oh, man. Garchomp goes in quick with the minefield. That should open up a lot of space, but probably not enough to really give your team the free point cap, excuse me. Going in quick with the Nano, dealing a lot of damage to one support. Brazel taken offline. Can you find the Brig or at least displace her enough to help your team succeed? Point being spawn camped again by Punks. Still not able to make it out of this. Traplock finds the elimination onto Maz. And Jack, I think what you said is worth its weight in gold here. The Tracer wasn't there to stall. She wasn't there to recontest, and TT Money Getters get the point for it.
Yeah, I mean, Smo can put out a lot of damage on this Soldier 76, but Tracer really is your kind of ace in the hole here. If someone falls weak, you can just instantly blow them up. Tracer's really good at close range, very close at getting that burst damage in very quickly. Soldier, unless you're hitting those Helix rockets, it's not going to be as easy to, you know, take someone off the field. It's really going to be more of a long range kind of shootout sort of scenario. So even though Point just continues to get, you know, spawn camp, they are dying for the cause. They are doing what they really need to do in that situation.
Smo, okay, Smo on the high ground here, able to find a double kill, maybe a triple, but that pile driver, no, it was the Helix rockets that doomed him after all. A valiant effort, but unfortunate end there for that Soldier 76 on the high ground. Card has made quite a distance, but has not moved far enough. Luckily, 3.5 minutes in their back pocket. D3 Money Getters, they've got a lot of time to play this as slow as they need.
Well, how slow can they play when their Wrecking Ball is, like, still alive, still, you know...
He's playing the touch the spawn door challenge.
You know, that's not a challenge you want to be playing in a situation like this.
Or not when you want to be playing alone.
Yeah, definitely not. I mean, why not just go into the water at that point? Like, if you're gonna fall, like, again, like, don't get a vault charge, you take less time. And now Spite's been killed, so, like, you're just losing more and more time now. Point is falling. So, like, this is all unraveling, and sure, you do have now Garchomp back, but you're losing everyone in the meantime.
Yeah, Garchomp falls first. It was a 6v5. They went in super confident. Kim
goes
deep.
Again.
I think popped the minefield. Yeah, now they're going to beat Elam again. Because why? I don't understand why Garchomp kind of does what they do, where if they start taking damage, they roll deeper into the enemy team. It's happened quite a few times, and it's a very weird choice to make. But, I mean, T3 Money Getters are in okay position right now, so I can't be too harsh about it.
I think that maybe they're trying to force out ultimates, but, like, really, the Swarm has not been, like, you know, just using them. They've been waiting. Oh, there's one, but...
Okay, maybe they're falling for it a little.
It works, it gets an Elam. It's a pulse bomb, like that's like the fastest ultimate that's in, like, you can get in the game, right? So
the fastest charging one.
Yeah, there you go. I couldn't say it either.
Yeah, it's a hard phrase, okay? It's a difficult. Right now, this is just, it's so funny. I gotta be honest, I've like stopped casting a little because this is and also is not a fight. We are in the purgatory equivalent of a fight because a lot of damage is being dealt, but nobody's really found value with it yet. This rally is hopefully going to kick off a real fight. Countered out with the Rabbinic Flux and now a transformation. There's the minefield and a transcendence coming through, so a lot of ultimates. I think that I believe 5 happening kind of all in tandem there. Smo put down almost off the map. He gets to dance his way right back in. Has a high noon at the ready if he can use it with his diva. Doing a lot of work against him. Comes in quick. Oh! And it finds Brazel. Jag, that spells disaster.
Yeah, Brazel's been putting in so much work. No more Discord. Transcendence was used already, so I mean, that's like one thing, but it seems like now, finally, that Purgatory might have been defeated. We might finally be on our way to the next actual engagement in this fight, as Traplock continues to have a 1v1 with a Tracer. Gets the health pack. I mean, do they get out? Like,
This is such a hard fight to win.
This is crazy though, because again, like Punk's like has been doing work, but like they're going for these targets that are so far away from the main engagements. Like, sure, you get the elimination, but what's happening over here?
And look how far away the fight is right now.
Yeah.
Like, it's gonna take them at least 6 or 7 blinks to get there. By the time they do, the fight will probably be over. It looks like it's gonna be over, possibly in favor of the money getters. This is gonna be a huge opportunity to find a double kill. Punks is back and actually finds a phenomenal full swap healing onto point. Spite falls. Brazel is traded out, and it looks like the Sniper Man will bite the bullet as well. 45 seconds left on the clock. Traplock finds one, Garchomp finds another, and Jag, we've got to be close to a victory here. We hear the high noon come out and find Snipe, but are the respawns going to be there fast enough? 35 seconds remain. A minefield almost there. A couple more ultimates could happen if they play their cards right.
Chronicler again resets, so that's a Diva off the field for a little bit. You've got Rally, so you've got enhanced speed for your Brigitte if you use it. God, do look at, honestly, this is a great position right now for 2-3 money getters to take this point. But again, Rally has to come out first. We always talk about that, and really Knight has to find the right target if they want to use the duplicate. I don't want to see it being used on the Tracer. I want to see it like on really the Diva. Like, that's like the number one pick.
We saw that earlier.
Yeah.
Yeah, I thought that was a really intelligent play. It looks like we're going to get to see another one. Garchomp finds Smo really early on. This is going to be mere seconds away from T3 Money Getters being able to call themselves grand finalists here in just a moment. It looks like they may have that opportunity. Spite! What a flick! Oh my goodness, Punks gets absolutely obliterated. And with that second point cap finally coming through, the cart will continue to roll toward that golden box of victory. Jag, 70 seconds left. They used every single ultimate they had. They need to win this fight dry.
Yeah, it might be too much. Swarm, they will have a pole spawn, but they're getting so much closer to other things. That's why you got to win it really, really quickly, because the longer this goes on, the better chance Swarm has of building up those ultimates and just out-ulting and holding on to this point and forcing a third map.
Third map, 50 seconds away. Either way, Traplock and Knight, though, they've decided enough is enough. This game has been chaos all day long, but they are ready to seal the deal right here, right now. 4.26 meters away from calling themselves those grand finalists here in the Latency Season 1. They use the Invitational with Jag. They've got to win this fight. With how long these fights have been, I assume we're going to have 0 seconds on the timer by the end of this one. Traplock 2% away from a tire. There goes the Zenyatta, and here comes the Rip Tire. Let's see how much damage it can truly deal as it's gone. The supports have gone down, and the T3 Money Getters are all but considered down and out. They are ready to walk themselves right into tomorrow's grand finals. Talk about a cleanup crew. T3 Money Getters win the series 2-0.
It was not easy, though. Swarm gave them one heck of a challenge. I mean, I still think, you know, I'm still thinking about that first map and how easily could have gone Swarm's way, and then we could have had a whole different series, or maybe we go to a map 3. I'm not sure if much is going to change about this one. It just seems like T3 had a bit of a better read on what they want to do, even with the Junkrat, even with the consistency of what will this do. This is outranged, this is out-arched, whatever.
Traplock
like,
MVP.
Yeah, I mean, like, absolutely made that pick work in the most just crazy ways, but if it works, it works. And once again, we are, you know, we are shown why we are not players and we are casters, right? Because it's sometimes, like we've said, but we did talk about this before, like sometimes you just play your comfort pick and it works out regardless of what the meta is. And that is a perfect example of it working out. Number 1 seed against the number 2 seed, as it was intended to. It seems like it's the perfect story. We'll see if the number 1 seed GeForce can close it out tomorrow. But I mean, T3 Money, if they play like they did today, it's going to be one heck of a series. It's also going to be one weird series when it comes to hero picks. I got to say, I feel like there's going to be some funky stuff coming out.
We're about to have a real weird series happening tomorrow, Jag. But I mean, I've got to say, I didn't know there were a lot of other Junkrat one tricks out there. So my heart has grown at least one size bigger today. I'm glad to hear I'm not alone on this cold marble we call Earth. And I do want to give another shout out to our sponsors before we call it a night. Excuse me. Of course, to Dood.gg. That is DOOD.gg, the all-in ultimate hub network for gamers. You guys can check that out. I'm sure one of our mods is going to pull that up in chat for you right now. Shout out to Claim Your Fame as well. That's a social media tool that'll help gamers, streamers, and content creators entrance their brand by showcasing all social media pages to one profile. So that is super nice. Puts everything in the same spot. Super easy to keep track of. And Natter. Shout out Natter. Y'all know him. Y'all love him. Huge shout out to Natter. If you're interested in getting better at competitive Overwatch, check out Natter on Twitch and YouTube. That is Natter. I'm sure one of our mods will put that in chat. And you can also DM Natter on Discord. Natter, hashtag 0640. That is 0640. Okay, that's everything. We love all of you so very much. Thank you all for joining us for day 1 of the Latency Season 1 May Community Invitational. Check your posture, drink some water. Don't forget to love each other. We'll see you guys tomorrow for some more action.